All right, here we go. Hey guys, hey, it's Sunday and I'm super excited because that means I get to hang out with you and a bunch of my friends. If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me this Sunday evening. And if you are coming back, thank you for returning. It means so much. Anyway, those of you who know, drop your city and state so I can see who is watching and from where. Um, Camry says, I love the hold music. So go ahead and drop your city and state. Let me know where you're watching, and I will do my best to give you a shout out. And then, you guys, while we're at it, if you could take a moment to just go ahead and hit that like button. This is super, super crucial because it lets YouTube know that this is content that other people should see. So if you can hit that like button, and then, of course, when you participate and comment, and then if you want to share, that will be really helpful. If you would like to get more, if you would like to get notified when I go live each Sunday, go ahead and click subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you will be alerted every single Sunday and when I drop new videos. So we got Dallas, Texas in the house. That's my girl. Hey, lady, thank you for tuning in. Super excited to have you. Let's see here. All right, so let's get into this. So I am super excited. Let's see here. I got you guys. I get so excited whenever I do this. I forget about all my little bells and whistles. So bear with me. Drop your city and state. Okay. See, I just forget I have all this stuff going on because I just get so excited. But go ahead and do that. And then, like I said, like, comment, and share. If you subscribe, you'll get notified whenever I go live or drop a video. But this is what I'm really excited to share, you guys. The Sunshine Club, I talked to you guys about it the prior weeks, but it launched officially on Friday, the 1st of January. And it was really exciting. So I have been hanging out with the members there, and we have been leveling up. I am giving people bite-sized pieces of information on how to reach the abundant life. I think there's so many catchphrases that people talk about: living your best life, the abundant life, manifesting and all that. But I don't see a lot of people teaching you the actual how-tos. So every single day I give how-tos so that people can reach their financial goals, their business goals, their emotional wellness goals, health goals, whatever it is. I'm there step by step to help people out. So really excited that that's now up and running. And if you guys want more information about it, just go ahead and click the link in the description, and that information is there. And before we get started, I have to give a shout out to my patrons. If it weren't for them, I literally would not be able to do this. There's a handful of people who really believe in what I'm doing, and they support me each month with a small donation. And so I want to say thank you to everyone on Patreon. I really appreciate your patronage. So let's check it out and see who we have today with us. It's always a surprise. Hey guys, how you doing? You guys can unmute yourself if you're still muted. If you guys want to let me know what city you're watching from, you can do that. If you want to stay anonymous, you don't have to disclose that information.
I'm in Houston, Texas.
Oh, another Texas. Hey.
Hey, I'm from Houston too. Well, I'm in Humble, which is still Houston,
okay.
on the outskirts.
So neighbors, say hello.
Hey.
Very cool. And hey,
Good
Doug.
to be with you guys in Pearland, Texas. So we're all basically in Houston.
Oh, wow.
And the Texas takeover.
This is a Texas.
Well, I live in Spring.
Okay.
So we're like all here.
Very cool. And then we got Camry watching in Dallas live. And then we have in Atlanta, Jackie. Oh, hey, Jackie. And then let's see. She said H-Town is deep. So very cool. So last time I got so excited in all into the conversation, I completely forgot to use all my little graphics that I worked so hard to create. So I'm gonna do my best. Y'all yell at me if I don't. Y'all watching on YouTube, yell at me if I don't switch up my graphics, because like I said, I just get super excited. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and get into some hot topics. So we had people everybody kept talking about this one particular show. And I'm like, what is this show? Why is everybody making such a big deal about it? Have you guys heard of the Netflix show Bridgerton? Bridgerton, am I saying it right? You guys have any of you guys watched it?
No.
I haven't watched it yet. I looked at it and I just haven't clicked on it to see it yet. But I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I haven't seen what all the hype is about it so far.
It's hard to hear you. I don't know if you can get closer to the microphone, but it's a little bit hard to hear you. I personally do not like period pieces. I don't like stuff that takes, place in the past. I've never even watched The Notebook because I like modern stuff. I like suspense, thrillers, all that stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to watch it. But somebody really close to me is like, you are going to love this show. Just watch it. And I literally was like this. I turned it on one night. I said, okay, I have a little time. Turned it on and I'm prepared to just, not like it, not be impressed and wonder what everybody's talking about. I loved it. I'm like so into it and I don't ever watch TV. So the story, it's just, I'm not that person that's going to give away anything, but it is so well written. The characters are well rounded. It's not like everyone's just a different version of the same character. They all have their own backstory, their own quirks, their own mannerisms, and the storylines are not basic. They're like real life stuff, and you see people on their character arc. Sorry, my screenwriting nerd is coming out, but it's really good. Not to mention that the lead is fine. So that helps. But anyone watching, have you guys seen it? Let me see if you've seen Bridgerton. I feel weird saying, they say Bridgerton. Is it Bridgerton? Yeah. They say everyone has like English accents on there. So, we got another Dallas, Texas in the house. We got Texas. Okay, so this is super random, but I have people all the time hit me up and share like random videos and stuff like this. So I have no affiliation. I don't get anything out of sharing this. It just was so dope. I had to tell you guys, write this down. You have to look up this rapper Mad Skills, and he wrote a song called Throw It in the Trash. Now, don't be scared because the song is 8+ minutes long. And I was like, again, I was side-eye, like my attention span is not that long. Trust me, when you get like 2 minutes into it, or even 1 minute, you're going to want to watch to the end. And no spoilers, you guys. If you've seen the end, in the comments, do not tell them why. Jackie says she loved Bridgerton. I can't wait for season 2. That's the only part I'm pissed about, is that now that I got into it and I got to binge watching, now I'm not used to waiting each week for the next episode. So I'm kind of like, I'm scared that I'm getting close to the end. I think I'm on episode 9 or something like that. So anyway, Jermaine said, look at Yancy all glammed up. I mean, I had to bring it out for the YouTube crowd. And I see Miss Monica over there. She's holding it down for the ladies.
I'm trying to do some, just a little bit some.
Little something.
Just a little something.
So make sure you guys watch that. Okay, now I need you guys to settle this debate for me, and then we're going to get into the real topics, you guys. I just had to, get a little icebreakers in here. But have you heard the debate going back and forth with the whole phrase, have your cake and eat it too? Some people are saying that the phrase is actually being used incorrectly, and that the phrase is have your Kate and Edith too. And I found a song when I Googled it, because of course I want to do research and find out. There was actually a song from, I wrote down the names, the Statler Brothers, and it said you can't have your Kate and Edith too, meaning 2 women. This guy was trying to have both women. Have you guys heard that either way? Have you heard that, or you don't? Am I the only one?
So it's Kate.
No.
Oh, it cut out. What'd you say, love?
So it's Kate and Edith?
Yeah, so the song was like he liked Kate, his friend liked Edith, but when every time he would turn his back, he tried to be going after Edith too. He's like, you can't have Kate and Edith too. But then other people are saying that phrase Kate and Edith too has gone really far back. So now I don't know what to believe. I thought I had stumbled across some big news, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, and I've gotten into several debates over that, because I'm thinking, I can have if it's my cake, I can do what I want to do with my cake. You can't tell me I can't have it.
Cake that you can't eat?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's interesting though.
For me, it would make more sense if it was that, because I have too. I always thought that was the stupidest phrase. Like, why would you want your cake if you couldn't eat it? It's like having a coat that you can't wear. Like, is that the whole
point?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So
who wrote the song?
The group was called the Statler Brothers. I think it was like in the 60s. It looked like the 60s era. So, yeah.
I need to check that out.
Yes, for real. Okay, so we have Rude Boy. Hey, Rude Boy. He said, I don't trust these comments. I think I should watch it now. No, I'm telling you guys, That show is really, really good. And I am such a snob when it comes to writing. Like, you will lose me so quick if your storyline doesn't make sense, or, you know, the characters aren't believable, or everyone's so agreeable, whatever. So for me to be convinced, I'm telling y'all, you can come to me personally if you don't like that show. And for me to get past the period piece, that's like a really big deal. So anyway, all right. So let's talk about pop question of the night. Let's talk about your year 2020. And let's see here. I want to know, because we had a lot of people found love in 2020. A lot of people got engaged. This is just in our group, by the way, our secret society. We had a couple weddings. Some babies were born. Some babies were created. Some businesses were started. Some people even got out of debt, bought homes. And there were a lot of people who had spiritual and emotional breakthroughs. But I don't want to, you know, dismiss the people who struggled. So my question for you guys tonight, pop question before we go into all of our topics, was 2020 a boom for you, or was it a bust? We'll start with Keon. How would you don't have to go into details if it wasn't good, but let me know, was it a boom or a bust?
It was a boom for me. Discovery, I mean, self-discovery and all that, you know, re-evolution, whatever you want to call it, all of that stuff is good. I think that it's necessary when we have the kind of time, we have, that we've had rather, to sit there. You can't go anywhere. You can't have anybody at your house and all that. You have to get to be comfortable by yourself, because if you can't be comfortable by yourself, what makes you think other people would be comfortable with you? And so the whole self-discovery and hanging out with myself and I loved it. So
that's awesome. Monica?
It was a little bit of both. I'm very close with my family, so not being able to be around them as much, that was hard. And that took me out of my norm, not being able to, especially being around my parents, because my parents are getting older. They have health issues, and they literally live like right around the corner. So not being able to go to their house was rough for a while. But as like Keon was saying, I was able to take the time without having the hustle bustle of going to work all the time. Just being at home, I had the opportunity to really focus on some things that you just put a Band-Aid over and just keep it pushing. Like so 2020 was like the smoke screen was gone. Yes. So it was like you just knew to deal with, and like you really got to see like, okay, I don't really talk to this person as much as I thought I did.
Yes.
Because
it was like a big sit down
every day. Right. When you're working all the time, and then it's like, oh, I don't really talk to them all the time. It's like, oh, wow. So it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It was rough in the beginning, and then it was like, okay, towards the end of 2020, it kind of got a little better.
Well, that's good. It's almost like we had to accept it. You know, it's like at first it was the shock of it all. And then it was like, well, if I'm going to be sitting here on timeout, let me get something done. Now, do you have children that you had to take care of during this time?
No.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have to, because that was the interesting part. I know for me, that was a curveball where it was like, okay, kids are going to be at home. That means I can't go to my job. You know, it was a huge curveball. All right, sir. And for you, Doug, boom or bust or a combo?
I'd say maybe a little bit of a combo, but I always try to look at the positive side of things. So
I don't know why it's so hard to hear you, love. It is really, really faint. I can't think of why it would be so. And it's not. You don't have your phone in a case or anything that would be covering the microphone, would you?
No, I'm my laptop.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you'll start and I'll hear a little bit of your voice, and then I can't really hear the rest of anything you're saying. Is it the same for you guys? Is it hard for you to hear him?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Okay, try to say it again. I'm gonna just turn up my volume.
Okay, I was just saying it was a little bit of a combination, but I always try to look at the positive side of things. So some things didn't work out like I was thinking it was going to, but I always look at, hey, just because it didn't happen in 2020 doesn't mean it can't happen in 2021. Spend more time on just praying, meditating, working on those kind of things. Anyway, so I have more time to work on those things and do that self-work. So for me, it was more of a boom than anything.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And for you guys watching on YouTube, let me know. Just put boom or bust. And if it was a boom, go ahead and brag on whatever you want to brag on. I think it's awesome to celebrate, and it's also helpful to see other people who, you know, were doing the same thing. I asked in the group, you know, the same question, and a lot of people said they lost weight, or they took an opportunity to start this, you know, business of their dreams or side hustle. So, you know, it's exciting. And I think that's what's awesome about us as people, our resilience. We can see the silver lining, and we can, you know, make the most out of it. So, all right, guys, the gloves are coming on. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to start getting into the meaty topics. You know, yeah, right? Keon's like, okay, enough of the fluff and the stallers and the fillers.
Yeah.
We're going to get into this. I'm telling you guys, so it's been like 6 years of having these conversations in the group, and it is so much fun. I have learned so much, and I think, you know, what's so special about our group is that we're all respectful of one another. And when I might be really firm in what I believe or what I'm thinking, but sometimes I'll see someone else's perspective, and I'm like, I never thought of it that way. And so that's the beauty of it. And I really hope that through these conversations, because anyone can get on here and disrespect each other and yell over each other, but I think in hearing people's different viewpoints be represented, we probably will represent each of the different people watching at least an aspect of what they're thinking. And, you know, we can kind of talk things through and grow together. So, all right. So let's get into the first thing. I'm over here, you guys, trying to mess with my little program, so that's why I keep looking down. I apologize for the little pauses here. All right, so we're gonna get into the first one, loving versus using. Have you guys ever experienced a situation where it felt like the person that you were with was just using you for what they wanted? It could be sex, it could be money, it could just be that they're lonely, right? And I found that the ultimate thing for people is that when they are complete themselves, they don't need anything from you. That's where I think we get that needy from. And I thought, well, of course you need things from people, but I realized, no, you really don't need anything. You have everything that you need, but you know, you might appreciate the little extras that they've given to you. But have you guys ever been in a situation where you felt like the person really wasn't in it for you? They just liked what you offered?
Yeah. Too much. That's too much. Too many times that happens. You got people that are coming broken, and some of them just coming to you for the healing part. Once they get well, get together, get everything that they need from you, then it's, you know, I'm out the gate, you know, and it's unfortunate that kind of thing happens, because what ends up happening is there's some resentment that's kind of built up. And I don't want to give the next person the opportunity to come in, because all you're going to do is do the exact same thing that this other person did. And so now I can't be my authentic self because I'm always on guard. And that's not who I am. And that takes way too much energy, you know, for me to be doing that.
Speaking of being on guard, how soon are you able to recognize that that person is just taking?
I'm fairly quickly with it.
But you recognize that from the get. You're really, I don't know. I don't want to answer that, because that's really hard to identify sometimes.
I feel that depending on that particular person, whatever, like me, myself, certain childhood traumas that I've experienced growing up, now being an adult, I realized, and during quarantine, those were things that I had to work on, because you tend to especially if the abandonment issues, or if you have codependency issues, it's easier for someone who is trying to take from you to notice that.
Gotcha.
It's like a skill. And then they latch on, especially, and you know, some people disguise it as, oh, I have a big heart, or I'm a nice person.
Yes.
But no, baby, you have some underlying things that might have been going on that you don't recognize. And so somebody is coming to take from you. They recognize it. So they tell you everything you need to hear. They gaslight you.
Yes.
It's pretty much almost like dealing with a narcissist. They tell you everything you need to hear. Before you know it, you think you're loved, and you're giving, and you're not noticing that it's depleting you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially. And then when they got everything, they leave. And you're left with a shell version of what you was when you started. You said a whole...
Right in there.
I've been
right.
there.
I was gonna say, you know the person
I've
who have
been
been
there.
there because I experienced that too. It was like, I feel like with every unhealthy person that I encounter, I get another piece of the puzzle, another piece, to where I get it. Because when I first started dating, I just had question marks. I was like, I don't get it. What the hell? What is going on? Why is it so complicated? And now I understand everything is so repetitive. Like, people who are healed look a certain way, people who are not healed look a certain way, and it makes
Look a
it very
certain way.
easy, right? And what you said
Right.
about the gaslighting is so true. So I met this guy, and I noticed that I used to be really attracted to people who would love bomb. And I realized finally what it was. They love bomb you because the guy straight up told me, and it was like ding, ding, ding. It was a red flag when he said it. He said, when I'm in a relationship, she becomes my world. And I was like, I know most women would have loved that. Right. But to me, I was like, oh, that's a bad sign, because you should have a life, and then that person complements it and access it. And I'm thinking, I don't want that burden of being your whole world. And I rode past all the red flags, and sure enough, that person was so demanding of my time, wanted everything that they could not give themselves, and it made perfect sense because I'm just a source for them. I'm like, the electricity. I don't think about, am I giving back to my electricity every day? No, I just need to make sure that thing is there when I plug in my toaster and plug in my curling iron. I'm not worried, like, does the electricity have everything it needs this week? No. So these people just, they are in need, which makes me have empathy for them now, which I used to hate them. And now I have empathy and just understand I'm not going to be that source. Or if I am that source, it's on my choice, because I was like, I see you need this, and I'm going to give you a little bit. But it's definitely not good. They're not going to get my heart. They're not going to be in a relationship with me.
Exactly. Exactly. I've definitely been there.
Woo! Sorry, I get that one. You struck a nerve when you talked about that one. I was like, oh Lord.
No, I've been there. Just quickly, I've been love bombed, because I don't have children yet. I haven't been married. I've been engaged, and so when you get to a certain age, especially being from the South, you have your aunts and your grandmothers like, girl, when you gonna get married? You ain't getting any younger. When you gonna have a baby?
When
you gonna do this?
Clock starts ticking. Yeah.
Right. And so I remember a guy from my past was like, he told me real quickly, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry you. So it's like, ooh, like, oh wait, you know what I mean? So he was telling me everything that I thought I wanted to hear, but in hindsight, and my mother told me, if you listen, they'll tell you exactly who they are. You just have to kind of sift through the BS. And then when the smoke screen was dropped, then I really seen like, wait, you're a completely different person. You're a demon. It's not, you don't want to marry me because that's what you feel in your heart. It's because I'm your electricity. And then when I tell you no, then it's like, you pull the rug out from under me. You
getting into my next topic. Yep. Did you see that
post
about telling them no?
Maybe like that.
Did you see that post about saying no and getting the
and getting the rug pulled out from under you?
Yes.
So then that's how you know how they are.
That is, when we'll get into that in a little bit, but that's a huge thing, is when you cut off that power source, a lot of it's revealed. And I don't want to stay too long on this topic, but I want to say this. This was a game changer to me because, we talk about love languages and we talk about what to give your guys. I'm going to see if I can get back.
You from the muddy part of the boot.
I'm from the 9th Ward.
Okay.
Magnolia Projects.
Okay. Oh, for you from there.
Yeah, from that part.
Yeah, okay. That's what's up.
That's what's up. Can you guys hear me?
I'm from Dallas.
D-Town, okay. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm from...
Where are you from?
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get back online. I was muted. I was like, how come they can't hear me? I'm trying to see if we can get back live. So just hang on one second. Just know that people might be able to hear you. They might not. I'm not sure. All right. So let's see. Don't give out your address or your social security code. It's so weird. And I swear, every time the conversation is really, really good, we have a technical issue. Last week was so good with the all guy cast, and it just shut down and we had to restart the entire thing. So
yeah, that's the devil. The devil don't want you to. The devil do not want you to spill the truth.
I'm telling you, because I was literally just about to start talking about God when that happened. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's loading. Let's see here. I don't know if it still says, it gives me the option to end the stream, which is a good sign because that means it should still be streaming. Just waiting for the little bar to go. Let's see. It's looking good so far. I'm just waiting for the preview screen to pop up. Yay! Looks like we're back on. Woohoo! All right, so there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna check back in just a second and see if we truly are good to go, because you guys are still frozen on my YouTube screen. But let's see. And I don't know how to deal, because I have, pretty good Wi-Fi, so I don't know why it keeps having buffering issues. I don't know if it's the number of people watching or what, but let's see. It's still, there we go. We're back. It looks like we're back. Okay, awesome. So I'm sorry, you guys, for the buffering. Last time it froze completely and we just kept going. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But if not, you guys just stick around. We'll keep going. Okay. But what I was just saying is that, and it was funny because I was talking to Keon and his face froze and he was just like, and I was like, I hope I didn't offend him. Why is he just staring at me? But I was just saying, if I have everything that I need and you have everything that you need, if we did hang out, it would just be because we wanted to hang out. It wouldn't be, I need a place to stay, or I'm really hard up for kids, something like that. So I think that's why it's so important to find somebody who is healed, like you, if you're healed, because then you can truly enjoy each other and you don't have these really high expectations of them being everything to you. And for so many years, I was looking for a man to bring me to that place of happiness. As much as I didn't want to admit that, I was looking for a man to bring me to that level. And so I'm finally at a place now where I am so good. I'm so fulfilled by me following my purpose that if I have a guy, now I'm like, I don't even know if I can fit him in. At least right now, I'm in this growing phase. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging tight. I see most people stood by. It's giving me an error message saying it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So unfortunately, I don't know how to fix that. All right, so let's move back on. Let's see here. All right, so, okay, I asked this of the group, and I said, would women, I was hoping we'd have, more women be able to speak up about this, because guys are not going to have an opinion, but I asked if women would be okay being the primary breadwinner in the home. So a lot of women are out there doing their thing, they're making good money, and they might be dating guys who aren't making as much. And so I wanted to know, because I listened to somebody on YouTube, this lady was talking about primal instincts. And she said a man's primal instinct is to protect and provide. And so even if they're like modern in their thinking or open-minded or what have you, there's this gut feeling that you're supposed to provide. So maybe I'll flip it. Monica, you can speak for all of the world of women.
Right. Right. I think we're equal here.
Okay. Yeah. Right. 2 and 2. So I just wanted to know, like, would you be okay being the primary breadwinner? And then I'll talk to the guys and see if they'd be okay having their wife be the primary breadwinner.
I don't think I would have a problem with it. I really don't. I think the problem will lie where if my mouth gets a little, because I'm okay. I'm speaking for women, but I have to be honest. You know what I mean? I have a mouth on me.
What? A woman with a mouth?
There's very little of us. I feel that if I'm the main breadwinner, that I might do things that I'm like, well, why do I have to ask your permission to do it? And and that's not right, but I feel that's where a problem might arise, but I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem making more money than, my boyfriend or my husband or my counterpart. I don't have a problem with that. The issue is he, strong enough to be like, okay, my woman makes more money than me, but I still run the house. But run that, and then I step online. Just because you run the house, that don't mean you tell me what to do. Because before I was your wife, I was Monica. Before I was anything else, I was me. So whatever I was doing prior to you, you just ain't gonna tell me you're not my daddy. You're not gonna tell me you can't go do this or you can't do that or you spending too much money. Like, wait, these bills is paid, baby. So if I want something, I'm gonna go get it.
Look, and I like that you brought that up, and I'm gonna flip it to the guys, but that was what came up in the thread, which was, okay, but there's kind of this unspoken correlation between wearing the pants, power,
right,
and money. And somebody was saying that it shouldn't be that way because women also hold it down. Like, they do a lot in the home. The ones who aren't making all the money,
right,
they're holding it down, what have you. But there is, I will admit with you, if I am bringing in the money, it's a subconscious thing where it's like, I'm kind of less like, why are you telling me you want to? I mean, I don't say I want to be like that, but it's kind of like, well, if I want to do it, I got the money to do it. So
I'm just going to do it. I'm going to tell you I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell you, but I'm not asking for your permission.
Right. And I think it's a very fine line between being a leader and being a boss. Nobody wants the boss. That's you're not my daddy. A leader is somebody who I think carries himself in a way where you're like, oh, I want to follow him. Totally different than being told, we're going to go over here. All right, guys, I know you're probably dying to share your side. So what's your thought if you had a woman who was making considerably more than you guys if she was the primary breadwinner in the home?
Go ahead, Doug. You got this. Because go ahead.
I hope y'all have a drink over there handy.
I had this discussion with one of my good friends from college earlier. We were talking about this with one of my female friends from college, and you have to think about it like this. From the man side of things, the man wants to be respected. So if you make more than me, that is fine. I can speak from a person that's been married before. It needs to be a team mindset anyway. So it's not I'm over you, you over me kind of thing. So if you're in that mindset already, you're fighting a losing battle in your marriage, because what happens if it flips and you lose your job? Now I'm making more money. So you want to treat your husband how you would want him to treat you. If the roles were reversed, if you make more money, that's great. We're a team. So anyway, if you're making more money, it's coming into the household. So you need to have the right mindset for that first. If you don't have the wrong mindset, then it's going to be like, well, why are you telling me what to do? I make the money. It shouldn't even be all about that, because y'all supposed to be a team. Secondly, however you decide to handle it in your marriage, that is y'all's business. So whatever works for you in your marriage, you do what works for you in your marriage. There's not a specific blueprint that it has to be done this certain way with every couple, and that's going to make your marriage work. So whatever way is going to work for y'all as a couple, that's y'all's business as a married couple. You do what works for you. If that works for your marriage, you're happy. It's nobody else's business but your own.
That's good. And I like that, because always putting yourself in the other person's shoes, it's really, really helpful, because you think about it, the temptation, because Monica and I were honest, the temptation is to be like, well, it's my money, but we would be very hurt if he had that attitude, like, that's my money, so I'm gonna do what I want. And so we have to keep reminding ourselves what's good for the goose is good for the gander. All right, Keon, you can't get off this hot seat for that much longer. You're on it now.
So I haven't had the opportunity to be married. Is that something I want to do? Yeah, it's kind of up in the air, and it's because of situations and mindsets like this. I have more money, blah blah blah. You're not going to tell me what to do. So why are you trying to get married in the first place? If we're not in this thing for the partnership and us trying to build, and my thing has been, let's take over the world. If you're not in that for that reason, we probably don't need to be doing anything together. Because if you're worrying about who's putting what into the pot and stuff like that, your focus is on the wrong thing in the first place. I was talking to one of my uncles a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying, and I agree with it, it doesn't matter who puts more in the pot, because the pot is going for the house anyway.
It's the house.
Right? And if you're coming there and you're trying to worry, and I understand that some of the conversation that happens amongst some other women that are telling some younger women who are getting married, baby, make sure that you keep you a secret little stash, because you never know what he's gonna do. And to me, that is the absolute wrong mindset to be having when you're coming in there. So to me, from the front door, you're not all the way 100% committed to this thing in the first place. If you're worrying about him dipping out on you, the same thing with like these prenuptial agreements and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So why get married though? Why even get there and do all that? That's to me that doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball because let's just say, for example, you're doing your part and you're being everything that you can be, and that person just says, you know what, I want out. Like in California, there's a no contest. You know, you can just get divorced just because it was Tuesday.
Okay.
So
cool. Let's get it.
What happens to that woman who's dedicated her whole life to being a mom and being a wife, and now she cannot even get a $10 an hour job because her resume is crap? So I'm going to always bring that side because I am torn. I believe in being all in, and I never believed in a prenup. Like that was, to me, it's like you may as well just ask for a divorce. I thought that until my marriage failed. I thought that, and I was facing the reality of like, am I about to be on the streets? Like, whoa, I have a college degree and I cannot get a job. So it is scary because you are completely putting your trust in the other person. But I'm going to kind of answer my own question by saying that just tells you that you need to put in that much more time securing the right person. Kind of just answer my... I guess we can close the show, guys. All right, thank you. Good night.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you number one, you got to ask all the right questions. And at the end of the day, you can't control that other person. The only person you can control is yourself. And if you know that you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing in the marriage, and if they decide that they want to do whatever they're going to do, look at that as a lesson and just push on. I know that doesn't sound real good, but at the end of the day, what else are you going to do? What are you going to profit at the end of it? You still lost the guy or you lost the lady who leaves you, and you're still stuck with, okay, yeah, you got some money, but at the end of the day, you can sit there and you can have a $10,000 bed, but you still don't have no rest because you're still wrestling with those demons and you falling short of what it was you were supposed to be presenting in this situation in the first place. If he goes out and he cheats, she goes out and she cheats, it happens. Stuff like that happens. For better or worse, are you going to hang in there with that deal? You know, a lot of questions have to be asked before you say I do and all that. But
I do believe in having a little stash, though, just because. Like, I think investments, just anything. But go ahead, Mark, what were you saying?
Look, to piggyback off of what Keon said, I've been engaged. I stopped my engagement because I didn't feel right. It wasn't cold feet. I didn't feel right. He cheated. We try to work through it. I was like, wait, but is this going to be my life? Now, everybody say, oh, give the ring back. Hell no, I ain't giving the ring back. I've been with you for 10 years. I'm not giving you the ring back. So I took my ring and I used it as a down payment on my house.
Wait. So 10 years? You were engaged for 10 years?
No, we started. I was 15. I was 15 and he was 16 when we first started dating. Yeah, we were engaged for 2 years.
Okay.
And before I was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I can't do this because this is not conducive to my life. I shouldn't have to be tripping or losing sleep or gaining weight, losing hair, wanting to look through your phone, wanting to beat up every girl and say hello to you. You know, I was like, and I was young. I was still at 25. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was as a woman. I didn't know who I was as a daughter. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was still in college. So how am I going to be someone's wife when I had no idea, you know what I mean, what that entailed? And then here you cheating on me, but you're telling me you love me. You're telling me, well, you the one got the ring. No.
Got the ring, but not your commitment. By the way, Keon, you got a standing ovation, so I just wanted you to know.
Oh, yeah?
In the chat room, yeah, you got a standing O, brother, so they're applauding you on there. I'm going to move on to the next one, you guys, and I want you guys in the chat room to weigh in, and I want you to say yes or no to this question so I can see. Losing your temper, is that a sign of being unhealed? So yes, it's a sign of being unhealed. No, it is not a sign of being unhealed. What do you guys have to say?
Me? I'll go first. Yeah. That to me, that is a sign of being unhealed because that's a trigger for you. whatever it is triggering whatever that got you in that state, and somebody does something, you snap like that. Yeah, you got to make sure that, you got to get that together.
So what do you think about righteous indignation? Because I could not agree with you more, but somebody in the group threw me a curveball and they said, what about Jesus when he was in the temple? And okay. I was like, I don't think I know how to answer that. But I think that there's a difference between being out of control and being bothered. Like, if somebody were to hurt my children, I'm going to be very upset. Like, I'm going to be hurt. But I'm not going to be out of control to where I'm doing things where I'm taking penitentiary chances, and you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the...
Well, you never know. You never know. It just depends on what they did to your child.
Well, you move in secret, honey. No, I'm just playing.
I know that's
Keep
right.
your hands clean. No, I'm just like...
I know that's right.
Honey, I don't know where he went to. He probably was on a long trip.
He just disappeared. I don't know.
I'm just kidding, YouTube. Okay. So what do you guys think? So Keon and I agree that it's a sign of not being healed. What do you guys think, Doug, Monica?
I think yes and no. Yes, if it's something minor. If I say, hey, I'm gonna call you back, and I don't, and then you call, you start flipping out, oh, that's a problem. Or, or if I got in your face and I'm poking you, and you're poking the bear and they snap. You know what I mean? I guess that's a no too, that, you got some issues here. But I think it depends on whatever the situation may be. Like you said, if somebody did something to your child, I know if somebody physically hurt me, my mother and my father will go left. And, even with my siblings. So I know there's certain things that can make somebody have that temporary insanity, because it'll trigger something. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that's not healed.
I have a theory, and I feel that the more we are spiritually in tune, and I try not to, cut people out of the conversation who don't have a belief in God. A lot of people believe in the universe and a higher power or whatever. But I say God, so y'all don't be offended, because that's what I believe, and I'll say the name Jesus Christ. That's what I believe. But I believe that the closer you draw to him, the more you are so filled on the inside spiritually, where all your emotional needs are met, it's that much harder to get you out of your mental space. Meaning, because to me, triggered means somebody else is pulling the strings. You're like a marionette puppet and someone else is above you pulling the strings. And that's why I say, like, I remember being in a situation where I was done so dirty. It wasn't a situation where it was my opinion that I was done dirty. Like, 10 out of 10 people would be like, that was effed up. And I remember in the moment being so enraged, like, rage is the word. And my uncle was on the phone with me. I could barely breathe because I was so mad, and I cry when I'm mad. He said, baby girl, you cannot afford to be upset right now. You have a daughter to take care of, and da-da-da-da. And it was like through the phone, he's whoosh, proverbially, slapping me. That was such a wake-up call, and I never went back. I said, I don't ever want to be at that point where an outside influence can take me off of my game. And I don't think it's about not being human. I think it's about your peace is coming from within. And a lot of times, if it's something where somebody's wronging you, you start to see that person as unhealed. So it's less offensive, because you're like, it's a child acting like a child. It's an unhealed person acting unhealed. The things that used to send me off, now I just go, let me pray for that person. Like, literally, because I now realize it's not about me. So that's kind of where my head is. And I know I jumped in for your spot, Doug. What do you have to say?
So I say you need to know, as long as you know why you're getting upset. So if you know why you're getting upset, then you can deal with, okay, well, what causes me to get upset? Is it something where this person knows that this is a trigger, or this thing bothers me, but they're doing it on purpose to try to get me upset? Then, okay, maybe I need to remove that person from my life and choosing not to deal with them, because, okay, you're just purposely trying to do something. If it's something random and you're just getting upset about it, then, it just depends on the situation. But for the most part, you want to try not to just get upset, fly off the handle on anybody. But if you know, okay, these things are things that I don't like or really bother me, then I need to know if I'm getting there with the top is about to blow. I need to know, okay, I need to remove myself, go off, go walk it off, or go engage in that conversation with that person so it doesn't get to that point.
And I think you bring up a good point. It's like, and I want to keep stressing the part about being in control. Even if you choose to remove yourself from the equation or move that person from your life, you're still in control. So it's like every time, Doug comes around, he violates my boundaries. Okay, then I can calmly make the decision to no longer allow Doug into my space. I think the problem is that people keep allowing the violator, the offender, to come in, and they just keep reacting to the offense as opposed to, if this person is showing you who they are and thinking that they're going to change. So interesting stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
Real quick. And I heard you talk about, God, I'm like you. I'm Jesus Christ. I'm down. That's where, but what we cannot do is we cannot remove the human side of who we are. God himself, we talk about Jesus flipping over the thing, but we can even go further than that. And we can talk about the fact how God did everything that he could do for Israel. And they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And he shut it all down. Between Malachi and Matthew is 400 years where there was nothing that was going on. They did not hear from God. So I'm going to snap. If I find there's something I got to snap off at, that means, I probably need to reevaluate that thing a little bit more. But what I'm not going to do is I don't want to hold myself hostage if I go off and not, I'm a human. You mess with me enough, you back me in a corner, I'm gonna come out of the thing. So it's a good idea when you hear, all right, man, right, you good. If you hear that too many more times, just please understand that something else is gonna come after that. So when you give them all the warning signs, just it is what it is.
Yeah. I think it comes with age also.
Yeah.
Because I've realized as I've gotten older, it's like, I'm gonna let you make it. Oh, but don't tempt me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to let you make it. I'll just let you make it. You just learn to protect your peace. Like, I'm not even going to go there. It's one thing for me to fly off and cut you with my words. It's another thing. It's like, okay, let me grab this bottle. I'm not doing that. I'm older. I got way too much to lose behind because you done did something crazy. I'm just going to remove myself. I'm gonna let you make it. But that doesn't mean because I'm weak, it doesn't mean, it's like, no, because I know what I'm capable of if I allow you to take me there. So I'm just gonna let you make that and you can have that. I'm gonna take that one to the chin and I'm out.
And I think that this is, like I said, the control part, and people are saying in the comments about, getting angry. It's not about experiencing the emotion, because you can feel betrayed, you can feel whatever. It's about whether or not you're out of control. So let's just say, for example, I get cheated on. That is very offensive. Anybody has a right to get upset about that. But I could either be hysterically crying in a fetal position on the floor, keying his car, trying to burn his house down and blow him up on social media. Or I could say, you know what? That's disrespectful. You're not coming back in this house. Here are your things. To me, that is so sexy when you're in that place of being in control. So it's not that I'm describing this robot where nothing gets to you, like, oh, cool, he cheated, come on back, baby. No, not that. It's that nobody outside of God and myself has the ability to take me where I don't choose to go. If I don't choose to reside in the apartment of anger, then I will not be in the apartment of anger. I will be in the condo of peace. I choose when I go where I go. And even with the example with God, he decided to make the decision. I don't think that he was out of control. Even in the examples where, God destroyed the earth, or he said, I'm going to do this. And the Holy Spirit was like, okay, let's take a minute, he always was in control. He was always in his right mind. So I think you can be in control of your emotions and not, do something out of your character, something that you don't will to do, and still not be a pushover and just take whatever. Were you going to add something, Doug, before I moved on?
No.
Okay, I couldn't tell if that was I got something to say face. All right, so, all right. I don't know if we have a lot of guys watching, but this is going to be interesting. Why is it in our society, you guys, that it is completely unacceptable for a man to be struggling financially, let's just say living with his mama, you know, driving a broke down car, but it's totally okay for a woman. Why do you think that is? And the same, because there was a meme where somebody said, would you deal with a guy who, and he said XYZ, but he basically described her. And but she didn't realize it. Like I wouldn't accept my
he said, "Honey, you're the broke." I seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you think that is? Because literally, like my parents, they wanted me to stay home until I got married. They wanted me to stay home. They expect me to go to college, but there wasn't this huge push for me to have this like massive career and six figures or whatever. It was just like, stay chaste, stay home. That was like the goal. But guys, it's like, get your ass out of the house, make your millions,
So, Slim, am I gonna go first?
Yeah, just throw your elbow in, jump in there.
I've dated both. I've dated a guy, my high school sweetheart. We were in high school. He went to the military. I was working. I was going to college. But, the military, until you go up in rank, you really ain't making no money. So I was the one that was taking care of everything. It really didn't bother me. And I've dated guys that had money, and that was worse. That was, for me anyway, that was a lot worse. Dating a man that had money, because with money came power, especially for a man. And I think that's where gender roles, and I hate gender roles, but sometimes with men, when they have money, they have all this power, and women become disposable. If you don't want to get in line, then I'll replace you. Or if you don't want to, and that's unfortunate.
Quick to say that too.
Money, he has more access to women, to all these different temptations, versus a man who does not necessarily have all that money. He has access to temptation, just not, it's a limited amount. But me personally, I don't see a problem. I would date a man if he has a job. Now, are you working, what's your 5-year plan with that job? If you're just okay with flipping that burger, you don't want to be the owner of that McDonald's. You don't want to be the manager of that McDonald's. Are you going to school? I don't have a problem dealing with a man that has his own place but doesn't have a car. I can deal with a man that has a roommate, but he's saving to buy a house. I can, there's different, there's stages. Now, if you broke, you want to be a rapper, you living with your mama, you got 3 baby mamas. Oh, hell no. No. Oh, God, no.
Keon bursting at the seams.
No, no. But I will applaud you for having the balls to say hello to me.
That's not your testimony, though.
Again, and that goes into that codependency, and that they want to take something. They see something, and it's like, okay, well, let me attach my hip to her wagon and see where she's going. But that's how I feel about it. I don't have an issue dating a man without certain things, as long as he's working towards them. And dating a man that already has it together, he just has to have a different mindset of that, not that chauvinistic, I got the money, I got the power, I can do what I want. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah. All right, fellas.
I
love the facial expressions when y'all are quiet.
So, I would say, kind of to piggyback off of what she was saying, yeah, if you have some kind of plan, okay, hey, I'm here right now, but my plan is I'm trying to get here, type of thing. You definitely want a person that has a plan. But I'm also related back to this. Would you rather have the person that makes X amount of money but treat you like, crap, or would you rather have the person, hey, I might not be where I want to be, but I'm gonna treat you like a queen and treat you like this every single day? Which is more important?
Right.
Keon?
Yeah, what you gonna hook your wagon up to? And it's funny because I've had this conversation. I have a lot of friends that I've asked that question to. Why is it that men are always expected to have it together when when women are not? I don't like that double standard. I don't like it. You can go and I've related it to purchasing a car. When you look at that Kelly Blue Book, you want to look at how many owners was there and how many accidents you've been in. And I'm not calling no kid an accident at all, but you've been married twice. You've been in 2 relationships. You had some owners that's been here longer than whatever it is. Now your rental car, you've been in this amount of accidents. So now you have, again, I'm not calling kids accident because I have a baby that I love. You have 3 kids, and then you want a man to come up in there that want to take care of you, and that man ain't, that crap emoji, if he can't take care of you in the situation you got yourself into or that you allowed to have happen. So it's not the number of kids that you have, it's how many baby daddies you got. That goes down to your decision making. And so we can talk about how the guys can be staying at home, but they're working toward all that. Okay, great. But lady, what are you doing? You've gotten yourself in this situation, and now you're walking around and you're mad, you're upset, you all of these things because you have made some decisions. You fell for the banana in the tailpipe with this guy or these guys. Now you got these babies, and now I'm supposed to be the guy to come along and save everybody, but then I ain't crap emoji. If I don't do that, if I choose not to do that, we've all been up. Well, some people I know have been up in arms when I can't think of the guy named that was telling the lady that she was average. You need to stay in your lane.
Kevin Samuels.
You can sit there, you can sit there, have whatever it is you have, stay in your lane.
Right.
I have one kid, she is my world. I'm an educator. I know that I don't have a whole bunch of money. I know that. I take care of what I have to take care of, and I'm not trying to go outside of that. But I'm not going to sit here and say that all women are this, and this because you are not up there. No, I'm not going to do that. And I think that is wrong for me to have to come in and take care of you when you lived your life, done what you did, and then now I have to come along and take care. No, it's not going to happen. I'm good by myself.
I feel like it's kind of the same way with kids, and I hope women don't come for me on this. But it's you can tell a parent can tell a child all they want to be grateful.
Yeah.
But until the child is on their own and realizes, oh my God, this is how much groceries cost, this is how much gas costs, whatever, there's a different set of appreciation. And I will say, I went from being the princess, with the, what is it called? Entitlement. I had the entitlement crown. I had the matching earrings, the necklace, the bracelet, and the ankle bracelet and the toe ring. Wow. Okay. And the perfume. I was entitlement city. Once I got out there and realized how rough it is to work, and then your whole check is gone when you pay your bills, whatever, it totally changed my perspective. And so my plea is for the women who have lived under their daddy's roof, especially the ones who were taken care of, just for the experience of it, even if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, go out and see what it's like to bust your tail, because if anything, you will just then respect that guy when he does do it, and you don't undervalue it. And to be fair, I say the other way around. If you're a guy and you have a stay-at-home wife and stay-at-home mother of your children, borrow your kids, borrow your if you don't have kids yet, borrow your nieces and nephews and take them for an entire weekend with no help. Because until you walk in the other person's shoes, you don't appreciate to the full extent what it is like. And even though to a guy who's out there busting his tail and worried about getting fired and having to sit in the carpool, the traffic, he might think, oh, it must be nice to wake up and walk around the house in a robe and just have to take care of kids, until he actually does it and is like, oh my God, this is not for me. So I would just say, a lot of times we have these fantasies that we want, but getting back to what Keon said at the very, very beginning, when you were saying, Monica, about, a lot of the guys who have money hanging over you, all the more reason for us to really look at their character, because a good guy with good character can be rich and he will treat you well. And a good guy with good character could be not so rich and will treat you well, but it's all about that person inside. And those are the qualities. Like, is this person so into money that they lord it over their partner, and I think it's a good lesson to learn.
Right. I think somebody with money shouldn't be a quality. That should just be in a what is that? An addition. Like, okay, he's financially well off. Okay, well that's a plus.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think somebody's financial status should not be, especially off of what Keon said. If you guys are going to go into a marriage, your money's going to be my money.
the port. I can't wait to share bills, y'all. That's gonna be so nice to have double the income and save my bills.
Right.
All right,
It's so much easier.
Yes, for real, because this country's economy was set up for 2 incomes. They were not set up for 1.
Not for 1.
Look, let's talk about RESPECT. Okay, this is a true or false statement. Y'all in the comments, comment true or false. Is the statement true or false? Women determine the level of respect they receive in a relationship, not in dating and chit-chatting, in a relationship. So true or false? Women dictate the level of respect they receive in relationships. All right, have at it, whoever wants to jump in this one first. True or false?
True. I think it's true. There's a distinct difference between a thermostat and a thermometer. A thermostat sets the temperature. A thermometer measures it. So if you come in and as a man, if I know that I'm not going to get away with certain things, I'm not going to do those things. However, if I come in there and I get a chance to borrow the saying, why buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free? But if you keep giving me that milk, that's all. I don't want that cow. And I dang sure don't want that calf either. So I'm just going to go along. I'm going to keep getting what I can get until you set the standard. And if that standard is up here and I'm not willing to do what's necessary to get up here, if I sit here and I treat you like that, you allow that to happen. You either teach me to do it or you allow me to do it.
Yep. That's kind of like a parent with a kid, you know, the kid's running around, knocking things over, breaking stuff. And it's like, yes, the kid did the bad thing, but he's under your roof. So what do you say to the ladies that are going to go, yeah, but I can't, you know, that's putting the onus on them and guys should be, you know, held responsible. What do you say to the woman who's so focused on what the man's doing and thinking that he's getting off the hook?
Because you're allowing that to happen. If I come to you'll never hear me say, make yourself at home at my house, ever. I don't care who you are, ever. You're never going to hear that. Because there's some stuff you do at your house, you just can't do at my house. And the same thing in relationships. You're not going to come in and all that cussing and carrying on to me. You're not going to be able to do that. And if I sit there and allow you to do it, then you're going to keep doing it. I'm not going to discount myself for you if you don't know how to act. If you can't act right, I know how to keep it pushing. And you probably need to be doing the same thing. It is. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
What you allow in your space. What'd you say, Doug?
It's basically allowing.
Teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
You teach people how to treat you.
Right.
What you allow, don't allow, those things, just like what everybody's been saying. You teach people how to treat you. So you're going to teach that man in a relationship what you're going to be willing to put up with and not put up with and all. If he knows, I can't come half stepping in here with young kid. I got to come correct. I got to do these things here. I got to be on my A game. You know, I might make mistakes, but I already know she knows I'm trying and I'm trying to meet these expectations. Then I know she's going to be happy now and she knows I'm coming correct and be good.
It allows the woman to harness her power. And I would say this, in the past, when I have let a man off the hook and I have not demanded respect, it was because I was operating in a scarcity mindset. I'm going to let that sink in for people watching, right? So when you don't know when your next meal is coming, you start to settle for crappy food with bad presentation. When you know you ordered some filet mignon and it's right around the corner, you ain't about to accept no BS on your plate. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of women, you know, my old self included, would accept that behavior because deep down inside they're scared to put their foot down, but then want to be angry that the man is running all up and through that place disrespectfully. What were you gonna say, Monica? You said something earlier.
It all ties back also to childhood traumas. What you grew up seeing your mother endure. That's, as a woman, I've realized the older that I'm getting, I'm turning out more. I'm never gonna be like you. But the older that I'm getting, the more like my mother I'm starting to become. So growing up, I was fortunate enough that my parents were married. Just because they were married, that doesn't mean that it was all, good and gravy. Because I've seen things in their marriage and I've seen, so growing up, I had to learn, okay, what is it that I want? What is it that I'll tolerate?
Right.
What is it that it's like, oh no, wait, hold up. Because a man, you know, especially in this generation where they're being raised by single mothers, you know, they're trying to figure out exactly what is it that I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You know, if I'm paying all the bills, then that's all I got to do. I'm coming in, I'm paying all the bills, but that's not all.
That ain't it, honey.
You know, right? And it's like you let them run amok and let them do it, and then you're upset. You can't fault them for doing what they've been doing for however old they are, and you never told them, hey, don't that when you hit me, that hurt.
Right.
Don't hit me. You know, when you cheat on me, that hurt. Don't do it.
And there's consequences for it.
Yeah. Right, and there's consequences. And I think that, again, with age and when you learn to heal certain things, codependency, that's a big issue, especially with women of all races. We get so caught up with, oh, I love him. What am I going to do without him? You know what I mean? I don't want to be alone. I'm old mindset. Now.
Yeah.
You know, that's that mindset where it's like, I'll just take it. Hopefully it'll get better. And it never will. It's just, he's going to just know, just like when you take back a cheater. They say once a cheater, always a cheater. He'll just find a better way to cheat.
Right.
Now, there are some that learn and like, you know, ooh, that was a big mistake. And they don't do it again.
But that's an anomaly. Yeah.
Right.
And I think that a lot of women, you know, and men too, when you have issues from childhood, specifically wanting approval, right? Or if you have an overbearing parent, whether it's a mother or father, subconsciously you have conditioned yourself to always be wanting approval. You want approval. And if you ever go outside of what they want and they're displeased with you, these people know how to emotionally punish you, whether they withhold attention, whether they withhold praise, a lot of parents are not healed. So you now are creating this person who starts to have they haven't built their confidence because they've learned very early on, because they're a child, they have to get by. Oh, I got to get in line with what this person's thinking and what they're saying goes, so that I can not be in their bad graces and be in an uncomfortable situation. Then you take it to where you're an adult and now your partner, you know, you're not happy with what they're doing, but you're so scared of stepping on toes and upsetting them because that person knows how to make the space uncomfortable. That's why you could literally see a dude, that joke where it's like, are you going to break up with your girlfriend if she catches you cheating? You know, and there's like that cat, you're like, wait, did I just read that right? It's that joke, but it's real. Some people can be the offender and literally try to turn it on you and be like, you are the problem because why are you making this so complicated? You know, why'd you have to go on my phone? I mean, I've been in that situation where you're like, I think you're the offender. Why am I a child? Like, I don't.
You should have gone through the phone anyway.
Right, exactly. I know you weren't a trustworthy person. And it's because that person who is the victim grew up having to try to please. And so the idea of their partner not being pleased with them is the end of the world. And I would say that's probably the greatest thing for me, is when I finally learned how to respect myself and love myself enough that being alone was not a punishment. So if you are not worthy of being my space, I'm no longer punished by making you leave or you choosing to leave. You did me a good service, or I'm looking out for myself. And I think that's why I push so much about healing and do so many videos on YouTube about healing, because when you don't think that you deserve better or you don't think you can get better, nobody can guarantee you're going to have a person. Like, that's one thing you can't work towards. You can't go to school to get a husband. You can't work really hard at your job to get a husband. You can't work out enough to get a husband. You're dependent on somebody coming to find you and wed you. So you have to be okay with the idea of being alone. Otherwise, you're going to be vulnerable to all these other things. So, all right. So everybody's agreeing. We're unanimous in the comments. They all agree that the woman has, she determines the level of respect that they receive. All right. So here's another true or false statement. This is interesting. I'll see if everybody is unanimous. Sacrificial love. This one was like, I would say split down the middle in the group. So true love is a sign of real love, the ability to put your partner's happiness ahead of yours. So yes, if you think that's true love. No, if you think that's some baloney. But is that a sign of real love, putting your partner's needs before yours? And I feel like I already know what
happiness.
What'd you say?
You said, is it their needs or their happiness?
Their, what did I write down? Their happiness. Put their happiness
No.
first.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. What do you say, Doug?
I would say if you're thinking about not trying not to be selfish, or if you're thinking on the lines of, hey, I'm gonna think about them before I think about myself, that's a good thing. Again, you can't make anybody happy. They have to already be happy themselves. But if you're on the mindset, hey, I need to not just think about myself first. It's better if I think about them first. And you're thinking along the right lines if you're doing it that way.
Okay, Keon?
I think when you put your happiness in somebody else's hand, that's too much responsibility for them to be happy. It's not your responsibility to make me happy. I have to do that myself. And if you're out there busting your arm trying to make sure I'm happy, then you're on a never-ending road, because no matter what it is that you do, if I'm not satisfied with it, it doesn't matter. So I have to learn how to be happy within me. You just, whatever you do, it just comes along with a bonus.
So I actually agree more with Doug. And I do know this question can be interpreted, because when I talk about joy or happiness, a lot of times people do take it, what is today? Oh, today's Sunday. I was like, why do I have my thing going off? Sorry. Anyway, guys, got my little one coming to my house. Not their this question isn't meant to be their happiness as in they weren't happy without you. It's what would add additional happiness to their overflowing cup. So just so we can all be on the same page. And because of that, I agree with Doug, because I want to be in a situation where my partner and my thoughts are both, let's look out for the other person. And if I'm constantly looking out for my partner and my partner is constantly looking out for me, then we're good. It's only going to become a toxic situation where I'm constantly looking out for you, and then I'm your electricity. You know, you just take from me and take from me. But in a perfect situation, you have two healed people that are willing to give. But I think that so often people get in relationships and it's all me, 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 me. And they're not even considering the other person. Sorry, guys. I have to respond to this. Mother duties.
Yeah, I think that's true. You have to think about that. If you ever plan to get married and all those things, it can't just be all about you. It has to be about the other person, the other spouse, those kind of things. Just, if you're not married yet, thinking about your partner could be like, well, hey, I know she likes flowers. I'm going to stop by and get her some flowers on the way to the house. I know she likes it. I'm going to come give her some flowers. It can be something simple like that. Like, hey, I'm thinking about them.
Right. I mean, I get that, but to put someone else, your partner's happiness before your own, that's where it's like, okay, wait a minute.
But where would your partner take you if you had a healthy partner, though? Would your partner really let you, like, completely just not be happy at all? Like, let's say if I know that my partner really likes water, but I really like, the mountains, and I'm trying to pick up a vacation place, I'm going to try to cater to what he wants.
Right, but that's certain gestures. Doing, being considerate of your partner. That's more of being considerate of your partner. But to say, you know what, I'm gonna just do all of these things because that's what he likes to do. That makes him happy. But I don't like to do, you know what I mean? It's one thing to do it on occasion, like, okay, he likes to go fishing. I don't like to go fishing, but I'm gonna go. That's a gesture that I'm doing for him at that moment. But where I'm constantly degrading myself so that way he feels happy, he feels that that's a problem.
So it can come down to sacrifice then though as well. So because I love fishing. It's funny that you brought that up. So I love fishing. So I would sacrifice going fishing for the weekend and opting to go, I don't know, to a winery somewhere because I know that what she wants to do. Well, to me, that's sacrifice.
Right,
so
right.
I think it can, it kind of can go between the compromise, sacrifice, and all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But things you would want in any relationship anyway. You want to compromise and
compromise, right? Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, and I don't know. I don't know if I would be okay if a guy is like always wanting to make me happy, but like, what are you doing for yourself?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do what as his woman, what would make him happy. But it's like, if you're always just trying to please make me happy all the time, it's like, wait, we're not gonna have those days every single time.
Yeah, well, that's to borrow in the modern day. These young people, they call that person a try hard. You're coming into the situation, you just trying hard just to make that other person happy, but you just completely neglecting yourself. And to me, that's going to get you into a spot that at some point you're going to wake up and say, you know what, I'm busting my behind to do all this stuff to make you happy, but what am I getting? So I'm emptying out myself, but I'm not getting replenished from anything.
Right.
Yeah, have to have a balance, healthy balance.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you guys for holding it down while I had to handle mommy duties here.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're going to get into the next one, you guys. Woo! This one I'm calling Playing with Fire. I said play with fire if you want to, and I did a live stream. But look, somebody did a post and they said, ladies, do not accept gifts from guys that you are not romantically into. This post specifically said that you want to. If you don't want to, okay, I'll keep it PG. So what are your thoughts? Because there are a lot of people out here, some people who have whole YouTube channels that are dedicated to digging for gold. They teach women, how to get what they want. And a lot of women have said, men have been using us so much for, sex. And so we're going to turn the tables now and we're going to use them and get what we want out of it. What do you think when it comes to just a gift? If a guy says, oh, no strings attached, let me go ahead and pay your light bill, or, let me go ahead and pay your car note this month. There are men who offer that kind of stuff. Yeah, what do you say to your female friends, who are going to accept gifts from guys and they do not like them that way? Like, no.
I'll go. If it's somebody I know is a female friend and they're doing that and they say, let me pay your car note, your light bill, I'm going to tell them flat out, you know what you're doing. You know that he wants to give it you using him. And you already know you don't like him like that. He's doing this. He's not doing this like that on that level just to be nice. He's doing this to.
But what if she doesn't care? What if she's like, I know that he thinks he's gonna get some, but what would you say to her?
You can have the attitude, but when you have that kind of attitude and demeanor about you, you're gonna attract certain things to you. So if that's what you want to attract, I'll tell them. Especially if they're my friend, I'm gonna tell them. I don't care how they take it. If they're my friend, I'm gonna tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
That's right.
Now, of course, if it's like something small, like, hey, I know you like Starbucks, I'm gonna give you the Starbucks card. I know you like Starbucks, and I'm just doing a thoughtful thing. It, again, it just depends on that level of things that they know. Hey, they already know that, I'm not thinking about him in that kind of way. He's doing a nice gesture. It just depends, but you have to watch that because, again, most people are not going to do something without the expectation or to try to get something with you as a woman.
And I will say there's a small fraction of people. I did not ever experience that. And my dad always was like, men are evil, men are dogs, And so when I actually had a guy just genuinely do something for me, he was actually in a relationship and he didn't do anything sketchy, weird. It was just like, hey, I know you're in need of XYZ, so let me put you onto this, or let me give you this item. It took years to realize he just was a good guy. Somebody else just really believed in what I was doing from a business standpoint, was like, I'm going to fly you out here and do this and that. I was side-eyeing like crazy, but it's been years and I've learned that's just that person. But the fact that I can name on one hand the number of guys that did something and did not ask for anything in return other than just the satisfaction of seeing someone else get put on or whatever, I say that's the exception and not the rule, and people should not go off of that. But Monica, Keon, what do you guys think? Should women accept that? Should they feel badly about taking a gift from a man that if the man's offering it,
She shouldn't feel bad. She shouldn't have put herself in a situation, whatever she's doing. Because, I'm not a man, but I know I'm not just gonna randomly buy some man some shoes. I'm not. So what is it? What did she put out there? I mean, because I've had guys offer to like, hey, I want to do this. Like, no, because my mind automatically goes to no, because you don't want me to sleep with you, and that's definitely not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, she shouldn't feel bad if he's doing that. If you want to put yourself out there, we're in this new day of age, this new age where girls is like, look, if you want to sleep with me, you're gonna have to pay me. And this whole social media prostitution, if that's what you want to call it, if you're gonna put yourself out there like that, unfortunately, there are women who are like, I'm gonna take it.
And what if she doesn't want to sleep with? What if she doesn't sleep with them? What if she doesn't sleep with him though? She just keeps letting him just buy her gifts and do whatnot, and she
might not be sleeping with him right now, but eventually it's gonna come to a head where he's gonna be like, okay, look, I want something more. Like, what are we doing? And then when it's like, well, I want it from you, I don't look at you that way. Then that can be a situation in itself, because people nowadays,
yes,
ain't playing with a full deck of cards.
Yeah. And that's what I tried to say. You might think that, oh, it's not a big deal. He's a big boy. He knows what he da. But you're putting that energy out there, and it's exactly what you said. You don't know what kind of nut job you're dealing with. I've seen men flip out and the woman not accept anything just because he just can't stand the fact that she doesn't want to be with him. So I can't imagine a dude who's invested thousands and thousands of dollars just taking it. He's got to be really... But to me, it's like the type of dude that's just going to keep paying money already shows you what kind of...
Right, so that's a control. That's a control issue. So if he's buying gifts
and you're giving him nothing in return,
that should be a huge red flag. It shouldn't be oh my God, that should be a big red flag. That should be a concern, because that's a form of control.
I had a guy tell me that he just wanted to bless me because he was familiar with me because of social media, and he claimed that he just wanted to give me money, right? And I was like, sir, there's always a string attached. I'm good. He was like, he insisted, no. And to the point we almost got in an argument because I'm like, yo, and he's pleading, no, I'm different, blah, 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 blah. Do you know, so I didn't even take the money, but do you know this dude felt entitled to have a conversation with me in my inbox? And the little persistent ones were like, hi, hello, give me attention. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, if this is how you're acting, this needy and entitled, when you haven't even given me anything, and you want me to believe that you're the type of dude, you're going to give me money and then not think. I said, even if it's not, outright sex, you're going to feel entitled to at least have me in your DM. And you see me commenting, you better respond back. No, sir, I don't owe you anything.
Not that, yeah.
Your little 50,000 is not worth having to be bothered. All right, Keon, I got to hear what you got to say.
All gifts have a receipt. Every single one of them. So, no, just don't take it. Because that way, it's not going to be anything. Because number one, he's going to constantly remind you of what it is that he did for you. If it's a true situation where they're helping you out, like you said, with the business, some shape, form, or fashion, they're going to want their name associated somewhere with it down the line, or what they want to be able to add that to their resume. Hey, you saw that show over there? Oh yeah, I hooked up with something like that. It's always something that's going to be attached to it. And again, the way that I'm set up, I don't have money to be throwing away like that. I don't invest in things that doesn't render a return to me. That doesn't happen like that. I'm sorry. We cool, but I'm not going to give you my money. That's not going to happen.
I would say that before I met the people that I did, I'd never experienced benevolent giving. I always saw a string. But I will give that disclaimer. And I'm at that place now where sometimes my heart is so full, I get such satisfaction out of giving. Until I was in that place, I couldn't understand it. And I'll do it with a woman though, so she doesn't wonder like what's up. But there are times where I remember being on a Clubhouse conversation, and I just was so overwhelmed by how the Lord was blessing me, and he's been just faith to faith to faith, just getting me where I needed to go. And I just said, you know what, the first person to DM me your Cash App, I'm gonna bless you. And they didn't know how much I was about to give. And I blessed them that day. I couldn't even tell you who it was. Because I just wanted to give. So I say, people out there, I'm not saying that to brag, I'm just saying, I know that that is the case, that some people just want to give because they've been so blessed. But you should not operate out of the exception. You should operate out of the norm. And then if it's meant to be, you're going to get blessed. All right.
Especially if it's the opposite sex situation.
You said what?
Especially if it's opposite sex.
Yes. Red flag, red flag. All right, guys, so I want to get into the next one, hyper-independence. And I think you guys knew from previous discussions, if you guys have to dip at any point, throw me the deuces. Do not feel, obligated to stay. I'll stay as long as you guys want to stay because I'm in the West Coast. But don't feel obligated to stay. And like me, I dipped out on my own show and came back. So if I'm the hostess and I can do it, y'all certainly can. All right, so true or false? I have another one. I like the audience engagement. So you guys listening, true or false? Oh, hold on one second. The Art Hub said, wow, you just explained a viewer I had donated money several times and then after a few days asked to video chat. That was a down payment, trying to collect.
Right. That was the time. They paid for their time. Now they want their time. Now they want to cash out.
Look, didn't I, excuse me, sir. All right, so hyper-independence. Hyper-independence is the result, this is true or false statement. Hyper-independence is the result of trauma and says, my ability to trust has been injured by people systematically letting me down and failing me. Just to be specific, this hyper-independence is the I don't need nobody attitude. And this person has to do things on their own. Okay, so they will not accept any help from anybody. They do everything on their own. Would you say that that is true, that that is the result of trauma in an unhealed person, or false?
I think it would be both.
Okay, and it was split in the group too.
Yeah, I definitely think it can be both. My mother, she had us when she was 16. She was young when she became a mother. So she was extremely hard with me and my sister, where it was like, you go to school. She wasn't that hard on my brothers, but I think that might also be a cultural thing. But with me and my sister, she was very, you do not get pregnant. You go to school, you get your education, you get yourself a career, you don't depend on no man. You get it on your own. And so when I became an adult.
And I'm sorry, did she have both parents growing up?
Yeah, both of our parents were married.
No, I'm talking about hers. Were your mom's parents?
Yeah, my mom did too.
That's surprising. Okay, go ahead.
So, and my mom, quick story, my dad was military, met my mother, my mom, they just had fun. 8 months later, she's like, she's having a baby. So they had to track my dad down and they got married. And then voila. Okay. Here I am. But so my mom started having children. She got married when she was 17. She started having kids when she was young. So her dreams or whatever she wanted to do, I noticed that as we were growing up with me and my sister especially, she was very trying to live her dreams.
Got you.
Through me and my sister. You go to school, get your high school diploma, go to college, get your degree, get you a house, get you a career. Don't worry about a man. You have your whole life to get married and have kids. So growing up, that was my focus. I got to go to school. I don't got time for boys. I had my little boyfriend. We grew up together. So that was one thing. But my best friend is hyper independent. And she came from a one-parent household. We both had lived in a ghetto. We both came from the same projects. But her focus, her mother's drive with her was, you don't need no man. And that became a generational curse because now her daughter is the same way. Where it's like, I don't need no man.
Right.
And exactly what you got, no man. And you upset because you're struggling, you're stressed out because you got all these bills on your own. You're a single mother. Now your daughter having a baby. Now your daughter has that, that mindset. So it becomes a problem and it becomes repetitive and a generational curse. So I do believe that can be a unhealed emotional trauma, but it can also be just, some, especially with women nowadays. Nowadays, the independent woman, I don't need no man for nothing. But when you look at it, I don't want to be that damn independent. And that's just me. I don't want to be that independent.
Yeah.
Because paying a mortgage and car note and car insurance and homeowner's insurance, I'm tired. I don't want to do that by myself. Hell no. I need me a man. You know what I mean? I see my mother.
There's other parts too that we don't have.
Right. You know what I mean? No, you need a man. Stop lying. You need a man. No, I'm not that damn independent. No, not me. And that's me. But I know people that are, I don't need a man for nothing. And that's why you're miserable.
That's why you run out of batteries every month. Look.
Right. And that's right. You're going to set your whole house on fire. No.
Make sure the electricity is working.
Right.
Yeah, you made real good points there because any man is going to look at how am I going to fit into this woman's life. So any man's going to look at that, and a man's going to want to know, okay, she might not need me per se, but she wants me. So she wants me here. She wants me. But if I meet a woman and she says, oh, I don't need a man for this, I pay my bills, it's now like, all right, cool. I ain't about to waste my time to convince you that you need me in your life. If, be independent, definitely there's nothing wrong to have that conversation. Hey, you be independent, have your own things and all that. But a man's going to want to feel, okay, she wants me. She, she doesn't need me, but she wants me. But she has that kind of mindset, like she don't need anything. Most men, good men, not going to fool with you. That's just what it is. Hey, you don't have to believe me. Ask Keon, I bet he'll tell the same thing I'm saying.
Look, I'll even pretend sometimes I can know how to do something, but can you open this pickle jar?
Right.
Damsel in distress.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Let her know I need your muscles,
Yeah. But a man is not going to abide anywhere that he's not needed. I'm not going to be around him. You don't need him, man. All right, cool, bet. I'm gone. I'm not going to be around him. I think we need to get out of that mindset of thinking that we don't need anybody. I majored in sociology, and we are who we are because of the people that are around us.
Amen.
We don't know who we are. We really don't know who we are until we choose to attach ourselves with people that we trust enough to be able to tell us who we are.
Oh, you're preaching. Yep.
I heard this. I believe it was Langston Hughes who was said to have had a portrait behind his desk in his office that showed a picture of a turtle that was sitting up on top of a fence. And the caption underneath that said, I didn't get here by myself, nor can I get down by myself. Ooh. You didn't get to where you are in life on your own merit. Somebody helped you, whether it's good or whether it's bad, somebody helped you. Your decision making, all of those things, somebody had something to do with it. And when you want to come along here and talk about I pulled myself up by my own bootstraps, good luck with that, fam, because I guarantee we can do some traces down the lineage, and we're going to find out that somebody did something for you to get that. Grandmama prayed for you. Somebody done went and gave an extra offering so somebody can come along and give you some extra benevolence that you might need, that you ain't asking for. You didn't get that by yourself. And so the sooner you figure out that you need people, the quicker you're going to get to the next level where you're supposed to be. I understand what your favorite artist Drake said. No new friends, no friends, no new friends. The heck with that. I'm glad that you invited me to be on this show because this gives me an opportunity to go to the next level. And number one, my presentation, how I got to care, because I can be a little reckless on social media sometimes, but now I know that I got to hone this thing up and get this thing a little bit different, because if I want to get to the level where you are, I got to be able to learn that and adapt some of those things. I can't say, man, I did it all by my man. I don't need that. Man, forget you. I'll let you know about it when I come back around.
Yeah.
I think there's no self-made person.
Right.
Exactly. None.
And I think it's so cool when you can appreciate, and I feel like everything in life is a balance. So you can go from being needy, like we started at the very beginning, you're so needy, you're not complete, and then it's I'm too independent, you don't need it and all. When you're in that center place where you're like, I know that I can survive, but I know I'm gonna be better with others. That's that beauty. And to me, it's like I've had the most amazing people come out of the woodwork these past couple of years who were like, oh, you're trying to do this? Let me introduce you to this person. Oh, you're trying to do that? I had someone literally say, I'm trying to run and I did a post. I don't understand why my legs keep cramping and everyone's giving me advice and all that, which that's, again, people giving. Somebody said, I want to sponsor you to be able to go to this custom shoe place, get fitted, get shoes that work for you, blah, blah, blah. People keep pouring into me. And so it's silly to think if I wasn't open to people pouring into me and sharing with me and mentoring me and things like that, I wouldn't have a lot of the stuff that I have, And so I think it's a healthy thing. And I definitely think it comes from trauma, and it's a place of fear, because it's like, if I let you in, somehow I feel out of control. I dated a guy, I have never in my life seen anything like this. And he was military, which every time I tell my friends, they're like, no, it makes sense. He would not let me help. Like, he was making his kid's bed one time, and I was like, well, let me just pitch in. No, because he had a way he did it. I wanted to help clean the dishes that I made. No, because there was a way that, how he did things.
Yeah.
And anytime, I'd never had somebody be so dismissive and be like, no, it was almost like offensive. Like, no, I got it. I have a way of doing it. And it's like, you don't realize how off-putting that is to somebody who's coming from a good place, who's trying to take something off of your plate, and you're so rigid, like, I've always done it this way. So, I could have been a blessing to you.
That's true. Well, with the military, that's also a training thing with the military. Yeah. But like, what is the saying called? It takes a village.
Yeah.
It takes one race, yeah.
So we were talking about this earlier in the conversation. I was like, oh, y'all all in my, discussion. Say no and discover their intentions. So one of the things that I have found is from people who use others as electricity. They just want to tap in and suck dry, not in the good way. But those type of people, it's like the Wicked Witch in the West when she gets hit with the water, right? They just spiral. If you tell them no, it's like... So I'm sure every woman has had a guy who's trying to make moves and she tells him no, or the guy who wants to buy her something and she says no. I feel that when you don't have when you're with somebody who's not healthy, or you're getting to know someone who's not healthy, they lose control when you tell them no. I have seen that across the board. They either get upset or they go away. Would you guys agree or disagree that saying no is a pretty good indication of whether or not somebody has bad intentions?
I don't know if it's bad intentions.
I wouldn't say bad intentions, but you can saying no can shed light on something that you subconsciously you didn't realize was, that's what that person's intention was.
Yeah.
You might go, oh, he's a nice guy. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm not sleeping with you. I just met you 2 minutes ago.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, dude, like, you're disgusting.
I bought you a Pepsi.
I don't give a damn. Here's a $75 or $1.25. Have a nice night.
Yeah.
But then again, I wouldn't be at your house after 2 minutes. But
yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I think that that's a red flag when you can keep collecting them red flags and putting them in your back pocket on this trail, but you already know what it is from the giddy up. If that person go off because you tell them no, you probably want to do an about face and reevaluate that situation before you move on any further.
Quickly.
I agree 100%. The Art Hub says you're an average of the 5 people around you. I like that. Where's my big facts emoji? That's awesome. Just Humble Me says I'm prior military. So you let me know, Justin. Well, let me know your thoughts. I keep wanting to call him Justin. It's Just Humble Me. Let me know, Just Humble Me Clark. What you think about being military and not letting people into your space and do things differently than you. And I can't really talk that much crap because I'm very particular about my space. You guys can see a little bit in my background. Everything is just so, like, certain things are right angles. I don't know if I should admit that out loud. But when I have visitors, which is very few and far between, when I have visitors, I will be going around behind them and if they just drop their shoes in the middle, I want the shoes to be neat together next to the wall. So I can't really talk. I'm calling the kettle black. But if you want to jump in and help do the dishes, or you want to make up a bed, or hey, you want to clean a bathroom, knock yourself out. Here's the bucket.
Yeah, learning how the person is, what they likes and dislikes are, kind of learn, saying, okay, I get why they like that. That's not a big deal. Be like, oh no, they were way over the top of that. They too ain't on like, hey, that ain't gonna work. Just depends on what their things are that they are particular about.
Yeah.
Right, but you can also
OCD.
Yeah, there's definitely, if you're lining up, like my mom has her spice rack in alphabetical order. Like everything is, the name is facing forward. Like me, it's all in there.
Don't let the label be back. I'm like,
that's OCD.
I got it on a lazy Susan because my mom alphabetized her spice cabinet. I'm like, but it makes sense. You need nutmeg, just slide it and there goes your ends. Like
no, I just know what it looked like and I just grab it. It's like the best. You
So
know,
we have a comment. The Art Hub said setting boundaries will elicit a response from a lot of people. Those who aren't self-aware or low EQ struggle to then deal with that. And Just Home Me says facts. All right. So the next thing. All right. So this was a conversation that who was having this? Was it Rebecca Lynn Pope? One of the people that I was watching on YouTube was talking about how a lot of women, they're really impressed. And somebody said this on Facebook a couple months ago, and oh my God, the women lit him up. But he basically said, women, he don't give a crap about your degrees, right? Like, stop being so impressed with your degrees. Now, I get why that's provocative because it sounds dismissive, somebody who's worked really hard or whatever. But what he was trying to say was, if you're trying to catch this animal in a trap, understand what bait works. So if you're trying to catch a fish, you're not going to put a big bear trap. If you're trying to catch a bear, you're not going to use a net. Like, so it's not having any judgment over the trap. It's just educating you on what catches it. So he was saying most guys are not looking for their equal. Most guys are not like, okay, I make $100K and I have a Lexus, so I need a woman who makes $100K and has a Mercedes. Like, they're not looking at that. He said it was Rebecca Lynn Pope. She said most men aren't looking to be a power couple. What he is looking for is his peace, a cute face, and I added, and really good sex. So if you can add peace to his life, because of course he already has peace, but if you don't take away from his peace and you add to it, and you're cute in the face and got a nice shape and you can make love, he don't care if you were on food stamps the day before and were living out of your car. Versus the woman, I think a lot of women think this way because they think this way. They are looking at, is he educated? Does he have this, this lifestyle, yada, yada, yada. And then they're coming at it like, I got it all together. No, actually you don't, because you're 45 pounds overweight. And that's why a lot of people, I mean, I'm just telling the truth. Don't shoot the messenger. But this is what a lot of people are up in arms about, because they're saying women are so sensitive to the truth, but the truth is what's going to set you free. So I'm trying to be a pillar out here for my women who do want to get married, because I have nothing to say to people who don't want to get married. If you don't want a man, live your best life. Do you? What have you? But if you're trying to trap an animal, learn the animal. Learn what that animal likes, and that will take the personalness out of it. Just like you were saying with the man who makes a lot of money. The more money you make, the more options you have. The more snatched her waist and the cuter her face and the more pleasant she is, the more options that she has. But we live in a society where everybody wants to feel good about themselves. Self-love. That's cute that you love yourself, and that's great. That's admirable. But understand the trap that gets that person. And just because you could point to somebody who does have this, it's an anomaly. Most people want what they want, and most guys would agree. I'm saying this is hearsay. So guys, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're the two men here, I'm just passing it on, but it's what they say true. What you say, girl?
Let's grab a notebook.
I mean, I'm like, I really don't care about that. I don't care about the degrees. I don't care about the money. Number one thing that I'm looking for is, can you provide an escape from my normal world? My world is hectic out there, and you put a video, I believe, where you're talking about the fighting and the corner man and all that stuff. That thing, look here, I started passing the collection plate because I wanted to get some money, because that was a sermon right there that needed to be heard. I don't want to go out there in this world and be fighting and competing to get these jobs. Yeah, hey, I have a doctorate degree. I got a doctorate degree in education. I have a lot of those things, right? But at the end of the day, I am still viewed as this person at the end of the day. And I'm out here fighting. My resume looks awesome. But yet I'm out here competing. And I don't want to compete when I come into my house or come into a place where I'm supposed to be getting some renewal and get refreshed and get refilled. Right. I don't want to be doing all that stuff. And so you want to come in here and talk about all this stuff that you bring and all this stuff. Nah, man, that's not what I want to do. Look, the thing that got Samson in trouble was he found a place of comfort and he was able to lay his head down and just give it up. that's the kind of woman that we want. That's what we want. I apologize. Are you still there?
Yeah, we're
Are
there.
you still there? Okay, yeah, because I got some unnecessary people mess with me right now. But yeah, I just want a place of escape. And so what ends up happening is when you get that escape, we start to have fun. And then when we start having fun with that and enjoying that, now we don't want you to go anywhere. So now that's when men fall in love. We're never out there looking for love. We fall in love because we found somebody that we don't want to live our lives without. And I can care less about your. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, something's got to be attractive about you. I like what I like, and all that. But it's got to be something that's there. And the last thing I want to be talking about is you and your degrees and how much all this stuff. Man, I don't care because them degrees come along with student loans. And somebody might pay those things back. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. So,
unless you're blessed and your parents paid that bill. But yes, I agree.
Exactly.
Hello.
Exactly.
Look, shout out to mommy and daddy, because look.
Hello. I'm a daddy's girl, through and through.
My cousin, shout out to Crystal Metcalf. She made a whole song called Sally, and she sang a song to Sally Mae, and it was hilarious. Talking about student loans. Shout out to her. Listener. She's on every platform, but her song, it's actually a cute song. But yeah, a lot of people struggling with the student loans. Did anyone else want to chime in there before we move along to the next?
So a man wouldn't want, so as long as, what defines be his peace? Because a woman is telling you, you're not going to treat me a certain type of way. Is that being his peace? Or what if she can't cook? What if she don't clean? What if, what if she doesn't have any drive? Wouldn't you want a woman that is like, babe, I understand that you own a business. Why don't start a chain? Or is it just, she got a small waist, her sex is good, and she cute? No.
I mean, those are bonuses because, of course, we're going to get attracted to what we see off the bat, but what's going to keep us around is those things like Keon was saying, like, okay, can she build me up if I come in and just, we just talk to the baby, I'm feeling down about this and that. She like hypes me up like, no, you this, you that, hey, we're going to figure it out. You get back out there, it's going to work out all right. We need that more than, she got a doctorate and all this other stuff. We're not talking to the boys about that at the barbershop or the basketball court, where we at. We talking about a man, my girl really holds me down. She has my back. That's what's important.
That's it.
And I don't care about holding you down.
I don't care about all that because that's tangible. We can lose. Money can be lost, but your peace cannot be lost.
And to your point about the holding you down, I would say that probably falls into it. So the cooking and the cleaning, even though I'm sure no guy's ever broken up with a woman because she didn't clean. However, if she's not contributing, that is going to take away from his peace because he's going to go, you are sitting here all day long. I'm taking care of you and you're not doing anything. That would take away from your peace. Also, I'm hungry and you're just going to let me, even if she's not cooking, it's the idea that, I went out and got you something. I made sure. I remember my mom would get up at 4 a.m. and cook my dad a hot breakfast so that he could eat an hour before working out because he needed an hour for his food to settle and then be able to get ready and go to work. And so that type of thing was making him feel like she was holding him down, putting on a little lipstick right before he came home from work and putting on high heels. I remember that she would be in sweats looking like a normal person, a housewife. But when it was right around the time he was going to start coming home, she'd put her hair down and put heels on and a little lip gloss or a little mascara or something like that. So it's those little things. And this is what's so, I feel like it's such a trick of the enemy. A lot of the things are so easy for a woman unless pride is your biggest struggle. Because most men will treat women like the diamonds that we feel that we are. But it's when we let our ego get in the way and say, I want to be appreciated for this, then they don't get appreciated at all. So it's just, it's crazy.
Where are those women at though? Where are those? The ones that they want to put on just enough lipstick just before they walk into the door. Where they at? I'm just
hello.
Look, I'm just saying, I sure think I'm a catch, but
I know I'm a catch.
The Lord hasn't seen fit to bring my king. So I just say, when there is a very special man out there, I speak this into existence every single day. There is a man out there that God is putting together, especially for me. And I will say this, I am so glad I did not meet him yet, because the leveling up that happened in 2020, baby. You know, I was Yancey 1.0 and then I was Yancey 2.0, but I'm stepping into Yancey 3.0. And I say this with all humility because it is all by God's grace. However, I study men for a living, and I cannot wait to pour out my love on somebody. And I had somebody that seemed like they were deserving until I started seeing major red flags. But baby, for that little bit of time, it was so nice to be able to shower somebody with words of affirmation and support and love.
Absolutely.
And it feels good. So Mr. Future, I'm coming for you. Okay.
Dear future
And I
husband,
am
I got
too.
you.
I am too. Wherever you are, trust and believe.
We working on ourselves. We getting ready. Okay. We like the woman with the oil and the lamps. Like, we getting it all the way together. I'm gonna do my little workout. Yes, hunty. Don't worry. I'm out here. I'm just waiting to get it together. All right. So this is one for the ladies. Okay. Somebody asked a question and they said, why is it that there are men who flirt without intention? And a lot of women, for the most part, there are women who are users and they just want to get by. But for the most part, the way women are wired, we want to be booed up. We want to be in love. We want to be married, make babies, whatever. And a lot of guys, that's not really their focus. So they will just flirt, give attention, what have you. And then the woman, because we'll take a little tiny thing and then run with it. Oh, girl, he's into me. Da-da. Girl, he said was hello. But, we'll run with it. And so what the woman was asking is like, why do guys who don't want nothing try to be in our space and take up our time? And so shout out to Cyrus Harbin. He's on Instagram as I'm Just Cyrus. He said it's a hit it and quit it mentality. And this is also something that I think it was Matthew Hussey, who's huge in the dating space. He explained this as well. He said that women need to understand that there are a lot of men out there who are not whole, and they don't feel that they have any worth with self. They're not aware of their self-worth on their own. And so they have to siphon it from women. And so what they do is they measure their self-worth by how much attention they can get from a woman. That's why the guy, is never satisfied with enough phone numbers or enough sex or whatever. It's because he in and of itself doesn't feel good unless he's getting the attention from the woman. And so what the women need to understand is it literally isn't about you. You are just a resource. You're just an electrical source that he can plug into. He's the what are you doing dude who waits 2 weeks in between text messages to text you. It wasn't that he thought about you and you crossed his mind. It's that he just wanted a quick fix. Oh, she responded back. Cool, I still got it. And what the women need to understand is if he is not consistently there for you, if he's not building a foundation and building upon that, take it as a hint. Because women will justify it. Oh, girl, well, he asked me out, or he bought me this bag, or no, because they're doing what they need to do to get the reaction from the women. And so we got to level up. So I really liked the video that he did about that. It said something about why do men flirt without intention? But he said it's coming from insecurity because they want to feel their value. And so because a lot of, this is my question for you guys, because so many men do that, and so many women fall prey to sex thinking that, okay, this is the gateway to get into a relationship. She's enjoying it, but she's thinking it's going somewhere. My question is, even though it's not popular in 2021, in this decade that we live in, this century, wouldn't it behoove a woman to withhold sex as long as possible? Like the ultimate goal would be until you get married, because it would take a real psycho to go all the way through with the marriage just to get sex. But I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate, if that's the only way to guarantee that you're not getting played, like, why is that such a weird thing to propose to people, to wait, or at least wait until an engagement?
To have sex?
I think it's not what's the norm nowadays. So it's not what overall in our society what the norm is. What you're talking about is, hey, how it's supposed to happen. You're supposed to try to wait and all those things, get married. But I would say for women, ask questions. Nothing wrong with asking man questions. Hey, ask them certain questions. Just you like you were saying before, if you listen to a person long enough, they're going to tell you their intentions. So if you engage with a person long enough, talk with them, have different conversations, like, hey, what do you think about this? Or hey, where do you think about marriage? You don't have to be about y'all get married. Hey, what do you think about marriage? If the man says, "Oh, hell no, I don't want to get married," you already know. Okay, well, this is somebody I don't need to really be dealing with because they don't.
But I'm gonna throw you this curveball, Doug. There are a lot of guys who are very smart, and most women want to get married, and so there are a lot of guys who will say, "Oh yeah, I want to get married," and I could. They'll drop little hints. Oh, you are definitely my type. Like I could see I was just telling my mom, right? Or I was just telling my mom I met my wife. They will say, when I tell you, offer you the sun, the moon, the stars. I had to pick out baby names. Okay, like guys will say anything until you.
Yeah, some will, but you don't divulge everything, but you just ask certain questions to give a response. So if they say, "Hey, yeah, I definitely see myself getting married," well, guess what? Time will kind of tell. Actions will kind of tell certain things, and you just make sure you ask certain questions. To like, okay, he said this, so I need to kind of be mindful that maybe he's not that serious. It sounds like he's just kind of saying what I want to hear, but you have to engage in certain type of questions like, hey, what's your view on counseling? Hey, what's your view on...
But how long though, Doug? So if you're asking these questions and, you're not seeing each other that often, so you're only, asking questions as you're seeing him, and now weeks are going by and he's starting to be like, yo, I think you're hot. Let's do this, da-da-da-da-da. How long would you recommend, if this was your daughter, this was your sister, how long would you say you need to actually get to know somebody before you can
if it's my daughter, I'm sitting there having a conversation with my daughter, I'm saying, hey, if he is not consistently having a conversation with you, he's not consistently asking, hey, can we go out? Can we go here and do those things? Then he's not that interested.
For how long, though? How long would you say is consistent? What's considered consistent in your opinion as a man?
As a man, like, oh, I'm gonna hit you up every, 2 or 3 weeks. Hey, what you doing? Let's go out and do something.
I'm sorry, not what is consistency, but meaning how long does he need to be consistent? Because some guys can be consistent for a couple weeks
until they get what
they want. Right. So I'm saying, are we talking 6 months? Are we talking he should be consistent for a year before you open up and give it to him?
And I can't say what the time frame should be for everybody on how long that should be, but there should be some type of consistency. Like, okay, hey, if what you want is a relationship, then you need to be able to see some things that this person is showing you. Hey, I would like a relationship too. I'm talking about certain things with you. We're seeing something on a consistent basis. We're having certain conversations about things. Your actions are lining up with what you're saying. You just can't have the lip game and just talk about all these things. Okay, his actions are lining up with these things. Okay, it looks like he's serious about what he's talking about here for whatever amount of time could be. I'd say definitely not like a month or 2 months. That's pretty a short amount of time.
So a lot of guys in the group, mind you, said when I posed the question a different way, they said they would not wait for, get this, the woman of their dreams more than 30 days. I literally painted the most ridiculous picture. I said, the body that you want, the mind that you want, the personality that you want, your family loves her. Literally, this is like Jesus in the flesh, okay, in a woman form. I said, she is the woman of your dreams, but she wants you to wait 30 days. Would you wait? They literally said no. So many men.
And
what was the age range of these men?
They're average 30s to 40s, mid 30s to mid 40s.
You want to know why? Because they're leading more with the flesh instead of leading with the spirit.
Right.
That's right.
And I think, you know how you take the bullets completely out of the gun, ladies? And man, fellas, I hope I don't lose the card for this. Here's how you take the bullets completely out of the gun. I'm not having sex until I'm married. Period. You're going to see the ones that's going to be around there for the long haul. When you start putting 30 days and 90 days and all these other days and all that stuff on there, you got some guys that exercise patience.
Or get with someone else.
Right, during that time.
Get with somebody
else. 30 days.
But when you put that out there and you say that we're not going to do this, I'm set on doing this, and then the other part is, don't get yourself in a compromising position. If you take him out, if y'all go out, I'm sorry, fellas, but if you go out, hey, homeboy, you ain't coming up in my house. I'm not going over to your house. Situation like that to get you there.
Yes.
That's how you fix all that. You take the bullets out of the gun, and if he want to stay in there for the long haul, then you will start to see stuff. But again, you got to hold fast to the things that you believe and that you want to be that you want to stand and build on. But when a man sees a crack in that foundation, his hard hat on, baby, and power,
he's going to
ready.
And this
we gonna get that done.
people want to come for me. I made a whole video talking about my case for abstinence, right? And I was just throwing it out there. I wasn't saying people should do it, whatever. I was just making a case for it, like a dissertation. Like, this is my case for it. I feel like as women, you know, I grew up, it's called the P power. That is literally our power. Everything else, you are vulnerable. You are like a little chicken out there amongst wolves. Men will lie, cheat, steal, say anything to get you to drop your guard. And so to me, if you open your legs, because women will be like, yeah, but I like sex too, and I did it. Okay, then take your risk. But to me, the only, and it's not even fail safe, because you could still have somebody be a jacked up person that waited till you get married. However, most people, it will weed out those. I was with a guy, literally promised me the sun, the moon, and the stars. Family loved me, told his family I was going to be his wife, literally had a timeline like 6 months, we're going to be engaged. I mean, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And then I said, I don't want to have sex until marriage. I want my relationship to be blessed by God, and I want things to be clear. I want to really get to know each other. Do you know that man literally was like, went from the day before, you are my everything. My kids love you. Everything. Like, we planning where I'm going to move, when I'm going to. And then I said, do you realize that you literally, what do you call it? Dwindled me down to just sex. That's what you did. Because you said my value, there's no value to me. And this is on top of somebody who said, I know within 6 months if I want to get engaged. So you're saying you can't control yourself for 6 months, knowing that you're going to be able to be with me the rest of your life, have access to all this goodness right here, but you can't wait. That's why I said that is a surefire test. That is a surefire test.
Right. And I seen a meme. I seen a meme one time. It says, if you remove sex out of a relationship, you'll see that a lot of people have nothing. A lot of relationships don't have anything if you remove sex from a relationship, a situation. But to piggyback off of what Keon was saying, when I go on dates, first of all, I'm gonna meet you there. You're not gonna know where I live.
Okay.
You know, my dad always told me, your body is precious. You don't just let anybody just do what they want to your body. And it goes for the same with my house. I'm not gonna let any old person in my house, because people bring spirits, people bring energies, people bring whatever's attached to them. You're not gonna leave it in my house. So I'm not, when it comes to men, there was a Facebook post that I seen a few years ago where it says that when the men that you allow into your body as a woman, their essence stays in you. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to keep adding, to that. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I chose to wait to have children until I was married. Because, I'm not going to be a virgin when I get married, but me giving you a child will be the one thing in our marriage I can give you that I know nobody else. You're not dealing with a baby daddy. You're not dealing with that. It's just me, all of me. That's all I'm giving, to you. But with a man, you got to listen to what they say, because their actions is going to follow through. They're telling you. You know what I mean? If a man is just saying, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, you smell good. You looking good. Okay. You know what I mean? And the first few dates, it's just that. Have fun. I feel like certain questions should not be, just have fun. Just go out and have fun. I don't think certain questions should be asked right away. Like, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Do you want, what's your credit score? You know what I mean? What's your mental health? I think that with time, as you get to know somebody, and when it comes to sex, hey, I'm all for it. If abstinence, I'm for it. With me, if I'm not mentally and emotionally connected with you, there's no way anything else is gonna work. Facts. That's me. I know some women that can emotionally cut off. Yeah. I can't. If you don't have me here, baby, I can't detach sex and emotion. For me, I can't. I just can't. It's all conducive for me. But I know some women that can just sleep with somebody. I'm not going to do a friends with benefits. Right. because that's not a benefit. That's doing me a disservice.
Look, you giving him the benefit.
I'm giving you the benefit. I'm your benefit. You're not doing, you know what I mean? And you're blocking my blessing.
That
You know,
part.
can nobody take your blessing from you but you? You're the only person that can block your own blessing. So if you too busy giving your cookies to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and the milkman on Tuesdays, you know what I mean? That brings your value down as a woman. That brings your value down.
You're speaking Greek to the 2021 crowd right now, though.
Right. If I'm not in a relationship with you, like, look, we officially, you my boyfriend and I'm your girlfriend. You my old man, I'm your old lady. We're not doing anything. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah. You might get a kiss, but you ain't getting none more than a warm handshake. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen.
You don't need no more mileage. They don't make you
know. Right. You don't need no more mileage.
You don't need no mileage. You know.
Right. You teach that man how he treats you.
I mean, you know, a classic is a classic because it's old and it ain't got too many miles on it.
That's
you can be old school, but you got a lot of miles on you. Look up under the hood. No.
It's right. You know, it's not right.
I don't like the body count, not from a place of like, oh, it's shameful. I don't like the body count because to me, sex is sacred, and that means that there are all these men who have had my husband's wife. That's how I look at it, because I live in the future. So I have my husband, whoever he is, whatever his name is, God bless his heart, love you, babe. Whoever he is, he does not need a bunch of dudes being with his wife. Like, just because we're not married yet, I don't want a bunch of dudes who are like, I had her. To me,
Exactly.
Let's say that most guys, they're not going to ask because we don't want to know.
They don't ask, but for me, I know they are out there.
It's not. Yeah,
I know they're out there. And if my dude was a thought and he was with a bunch of women, I'm not going to judge him. However, I'm literally going to have in my mind, like, is the woman I am encountering, am I encountering someone who's been with me? It's like, it's less special to me. And I'm different. I know a lot of people don't think that way. But to me, it's like, it makes it less special when everyone has had it. So if I have a car and everyone else has driven that car first, it's less special than if I buy it off the lot. So to me, I don't expect my dude to be a virgin, but at the same time, I don't want to run into every chick that's like, oh yeah, we I have something that's something.
He do his little thing when he get ready to do that.
Ooh,
right, like it's like, wait, hold up, and then you find yourself comparing, like, wait, he don't do that.
Right.
So
Or you know that thing with his toes? No, I don't know that thing with his toes. What?
right. And then, then you find yourself really, and then it can mess with you be insecure. Like, I don't need to be around anybody you have sex with.
They're going to come for us, you guys. There are these people who are like, I don't care if they had 1,000 partners. I don't care. Okay, this is my testimony, okay? So don't.
Right. And that's fine. Everybody's entitled. If you want to marry Mary Magdalene, that's on you. That's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? What it says, every saint was a sinner, and every sinner, every saint is a sinner, or something like that, and every sinner has to pass, something like that.
Yes.
We all have our griefs to bear. We all have them. We all have our dirt. We all have our skeletons in the closet. But if I can prevent having an extra bone in that closet, I will.
Look, I like that. All right, guys, we're coming up around the end. We're almost done here. You guys have been awesome. We're gonna go through this one quickly because I don't know if we have a lot to say on this. What do you guys think about bait and switch? So a lot of people are talking about, well, we're supposed to be here till death do us part, yada, yada, yada. And the same exact thing that the person did to catch their spouse, they're not willing to do. So when the guy is single, he's in the gym. When the girl's single, she's in the gym. Taking her nails are staying painted and he's, keeping his beard edged up. But it seems like a lot of times when people get in a relationship, they start to just let themselves go. They talk about the freshman 20.
Is it comfortable?
The happy weight, right? So to me, I'm not, not just the happy weight. Okay, at the beginning you're just laid up on each other and you're just eating. Okay, I get that. But like, what about those people who say, but you should love me unconditionally? When you caught me because you were on point. So what are you guys' thoughts about that? Is the onus on that person just love unconditionally, or does the partner have some obligation to try to keep it together?
The same way you got me is the same way you got to do. The same things you did to get me was the same things you got to do to keep me.
And they have that old saying, you want to court your person. You want to court your husband, court your wife. So you want to still court each other. So health wise, like, I work out when I'm, one of my side gigs, I'm a personal trainer and all that. So I like working out. That's my way to release and all that and everything. So then health wise, I'm looking, okay, they're not doing nothing. That's going to be some health problems when we get older. So if nothing else, is like, hey, you need to keep together just so health wise, you're going to be okay. We can have a long life together. And it's like, okay, if you're like, we all have it. Sometimes we let ourselves go slash a little bit, but that's part of things being a couple. Hey, let's go work out together. Let's go walk. Let's go do these things here, because you don't want your person to get tempted by somebody else they shouldn't. But again, hey, we're all human. But I'm just saying, we're all human. But you don't want somebody that's like, oh, giving your spouse that attention and all those things. And well, she shouldn't be looking at them anyway. We're all human. We all appreciate different things. So why even have that as a problem? Keep yourself up, again, but you shouldn't tell your spouse, like, hey, you need to drop some weight. Hey, let's go to the gym together. Hey, you want to go walk together? Hey, you want to go ride the bike together? Hey, you want to go run, work out, swim, whatever the case is, walk, whatever the case is. So that's that. You should love me no matter how I look. Yes, it's noble and all that, but come on. You being a fool.
We're still dealing with humans. You can't starve a person and then have them walking by the food court. Like,
right.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, don't make it hard for your person. Keep it cute.
But then there are some that'll be like, oh, well, you already got all of this. Why you doing all of that now? You already got it. There are some people that do that.
That's
I'm
true.
just saying, devil's advocate. There are some people that do that.
Nope.
Me personally, just don't,
that would be definitely a sign of an unhealthy person. Like, why you got to get cute for? Because
like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I tell them, don't hate me because I'm sexy. You better come on with me.
Right. We getting people. My dad.
All right, this one, you guys. I'm glad I'm behind the computer and I'm on the internet, because I feel like I get tomatoes thrown at me because the women are gonna think I'm coming for them today. But I just want the truth to set people free. I want to acknowledge the double standards. Okay, there was this video, Kevin Samuels, I know it keeps coming up, but Kevin Samuels was the guy who did the, your average at best video. And he was on this app called Clubhouse. Clubhouse is essentially like a live podcast. You can just listen to people talk. So he went in a room shortly after that video went viral, and there was a woman, Rochelle Ritchie, who basically came for him on the app. Okay, so he was the speaker. She was allowed on the stage, is what they call it, to speak, but she was starting to be disrespectful. I listened to it firsthand. She was starting to question him and be combative and kind of like talk over him. So at a point, he just shut it down. Like, he just kicked her off the stage. You can basically like mute the person so they can't talk anymore. And so he brought up a point, and he said, and I'm interested to hear especially what the guys were saying. And also, there was a video of a woman cutting up sneakers, really expensive sneakers, which you can obviously deduct that was her guy's sneakers, and that was her revenge. But Kevin said it's not okay that women have no consequences. He said, because as men, there's a line we can't cross. We cannot lay hands on a woman, and we're going to look crazy if we come back at a woman, even verbally, the way she comes at us. He said with a dude, and I just saw this on that show I was watching, okay, at the beginning I told you about Bridgerton. The dudes were talking, and there was a point where the one guy crossed the line of respect, and I know for a fact he knew it, the character. I knew he knew, because when you're going below the belt. But he really wanted to dig. So he said the thing below the belt. But guess what? He also knew he was about to catch them hands. And he did. And these were best friends. So the dude socked them. They went to going at it. And of course, they finished the little fight and then carried on. But I thought this is what Kevin's talking about. When there's a certain line crossed with dudes, you either have common sense to be like, let me stop because I don't want them hands. Or you go past and you're ready for that smoke. But he said with women, they will like a little, I'm adding like a little chihuahua in the face, in the face, in the face, in the face, in the face. And then they know, whether it's conscious or not, the dude can't come for them. And so I say this to say, I want women to understand what a predicament we are putting men in. Because we talk a lot about what guys do wrong. And I believe in being equal when it comes to correction and calling stuff out. We cannot provoke. We said that earlier in the conversation. Somebody's poking and poking and poking. You can only take so much before you snap. And so, I don't know how we can, other than just talking about it like we're doing right now, but start to impress upon women double standards are not cool. If you would not be okay with him coming into your closet and cutting up all your handbags or snapping your Louboutins in half or your red bottoms or whatever, we have to stop making it okay. The way we comment on these videos like, yeah, girl, that's what he deserved, or threw him out and his stuff is on the street. You don't often see women being thrown, their stuff being thrown out in the street. But we live in this culture where it's okay. But let someone record a man screaming at a woman, it's the end of the world. But the women can set cars on fire. That video went viral. You know, women can cut stuff. So what can we do to really let women understand how it's not balanced and it's not okay? You can't expect respect and then not give it.
I think that it's not going to be popular, but it's going to take women who are women to help educate the people who are trying to be women. I know that, and I know it's Sunday and everything like that, but you know, Paul, in Paul's teaching, he was telling the ladies of the church to teach the young women of the church how to be women. Teach them how to do all of these things for their husband, teach them blah, 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 blah. And he told the men, hey, teach these boys how to control themselves. That's it. So it's going to be some teaching that has to be going on right now, because right now we're not, and man, I'm for you talking about you behind the screen. I'm behind the screen over here. We're not and it's going to sound crazy, but we're not raising wives anymore.
No.
There's no wives anymore. You have people that's out there trying to get what they can get. They don't have the soft skills. And yes, it's a big thing. And I got some people firing off at me. If you go and cook, don't serve your man on no paper plate. Come on. No. That's disrespecting your whole meal. But you don't, number one, you can't cook. You're out there preparing. You think that a gourmet meal is you going out here getting something to do it. And I'm not minimizing you down to cooking. But you don't know how to take care of a home. Those are things that have to be taught. Yes, we can go all the way back to the idea, well, I have to get out here and I have to work. I don't have time to teach my daughter how to do these things. Don't have time because I got to go out here because her daddy, blah, 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 blah. All of those things happen. Yes, they happen. But now we have people going into it. Our girls are walking around here overly developed because they're eating all of this processed food on the $2 pieces of chicken from Popeyes every Tuesday. And now you're up here growing these things and now you're getting yourself in situations where now you can be taken advantage of. The boys can't control themselves. And then now you end up perpetuating a cycle that got us in the situation we're in right now. We're not teaching our kids, our younger people, how to do these things. These young boys, ladies, y'all start popping off at the mouth. These young boys gonna hit you in the mouth.
Yes.
I'm not gonna hit you, but these young boys they will slap you in the mouth and punch you, and then some women will sit there and stay with them. For what? How many times are you gonna take me and put his hands on you for you to bounce?
I had a guy say that it was acceptable to tell a woman to shut the F up. But he said the word. And I was like, I looked at him and said, you're serious? He said, yeah, if a woman gets out of line, sometimes she just needs to be told to shut the F up. And I was like, you're serious? You really think that's okay to tell your woman? He was like, yeah. And he was dead serious.
It takes us to teach. We have to be able to teach the younger generation. Like my daughter right now, if she don't know, if nobody else in the world loves her, she know that I love my kid. And you come along and talk about, yeah, baby, I love you. Okay, my daddy loved me. What else can you do? So we have to teach that standard versus going out there and just letting them go and be whatever it is. And some of our older ladies need to go and be at Sunday school too to get some of these lessons.
Right. You make a good point though. Teach our kids, because I'm trying to put a kid out there in the world that is going to combat all the trash guys. I don't want to say it with the F boys. I'm like, what I can at least do is produce a good guy with a good character and good upbringing. Right. What were you saying, Doug?
Just like Keon was saying, that's definitely, I agree 100%. It's a difference in the generation now, but it has to be taught. There has to be some teaching done, because if not, it's not going to change. I know some people like watching certain kind of shows, but hey, stop supporting those shows that show all this stuff where, hey, all this ratchet behavior is cool. Okay, it did this, it did it for ratings and all that. Well, stop watching that kind of stuff. They have that saying that, if you watch stuff long enough, that starts getting into your soul and your spirit, and you start mimicking those things because that's normal to you. So we have to make those normal things not normal. Say, hey, that's for entertainment. You shouldn't be doing that. You need to be worried about these things. You need to carry yourself certain ways, young lady. Women have to teach women that. Young men have to teach men have to teach their sons certain things. A woman can definitely raise up a son as best as he can be, but there has to be some kind of positive male role model in his life to teach him how to be a man. It's this book title. I can't think of the name of it. I'll have to tell you later, but this is a book I read and it talks about that, where every man at some point in time in his life needs to know he has enough in him has what it takes to do life, X, Y, and Z, and all those kind of things. He's not going to get that from his mother. He's going to get that from either his father or some positive male role model in his life. Moms, you can't get that to your sons. No. Yeah. Sorry to say, but that's the truth. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So he has to have some kind of positive male role model in his life. So he knows, so he knows that, hey, it's okay to be masculine. All this, this is not toxic masculinity if I'm acting in this kind of way. So he knows, hey, it's okay for me to feel like this. It's okay for me to act like this. That, hey, I know this other man is pouring into me, so I know I have what it takes and I'm going to be all right.
I want to normalize self-discipline. I know that I am like this wild person, I'm like John the Baptist out in the wilderness, I'm like on my own, but I really want to start to normalize certain things. And I follow other YouTubers who have the same mindset. I want people to understand that there is a different option, because all people are getting, especially the young people who are like in their 20s right now and their teens, all they're getting on social media is be free, or on TV, be free, be sexually free, be uninhibited, do what you want. It's this life of like excess, and everything is about titillating your flesh just meaning your physical body outside of your spirit man. And I want to get away from it being a Bible thing, because a lot of people hear abstinence and it's like, oh, those are for those Jesus people. Or they hear about being domestic, oh, this is for those submissive women who don't have lives. I want to normalize things that were done for a reason. There's a reason why certain things in the past worked. And a big part of it is because we're not equals. Men and women are not equals. Right. And this agenda has been pushed on us since the 60s, with a lot of the women's lib movement, where yes, should women have rights? Of course. But don't then twist it and say we're equals. We are only equals when it comes to being humans, and that we have reproductive organs and our bodies are very similar. Outside of that, and having emotions, outside of that, we are so different. Just like I say this all the time, apples and oranges, they're both fruit, but they're not equal. And equal does not mean value. One is better or worse. It just means they are different. And we have to understand the compatibility of it. And so it's like, this is where everything gets thrown off. When women start to get into the workplace, which I'm not coming from women in the workplace. I'm a woman in the workplace. So before someone goes off, that's not what I'm saying. But when you had the woman in the home and the man was the provider, you didn't have the conflict of, well, who raises the kids? Because now we're both gone. Or who's making more? You don't have that, because you're complementing each other. She's naturally taking care of the home, rearing the kids. He's naturally providing, yada, yada, yada. We have changed tradition so much that we're now starting to see the side effects. And this is why I said I'm not coming for people who are outside that tradition, but you have to also understand the ramifications. So if I choose to go out and make money and have a career, the type of dude that I get is going to have to be a different kind of guy. Because the guy I get, he's going to have to be okay with the fact I work long hours. Sunday night, I do a 3-hour live stream, and I'm, da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to be a different type of wife than a woman who's sitting at home doting, making home-cooked meals all day, making stuff from scratch and popping out kids or whatever. There's always a give and take. And I just want people to see both sides is what I'm getting at. I don't want people to get painted this one picture and say, sexual freedom is the way to go. Okay, if you're sexually free, understand you might get taken advantage of. Understand you might get a disease. Understand you might get pregnant. Understand you might get shamed. Just teach both sides. And I'm sick of the media only giving one side of the story. And shout out to the people like the Roommates podcast and other people who are telling stories about healthy relationships where men respect the women and the women respect the men, and the men are comfortable being masculine and the women are comfortable being feminine, and they don't see it as something that's less than, or what is the word, belittling. Like, I want people to understand there's such a thing as a complementary model where you could be the yin to his yang, and it's not about one being better or the other. And to bring it full circle, we have to stop making money power, because if you do that, you then take away the woman's value, her value in bringing children into this world, her value staying home, her value cleaning and cooking. So many men talk about cooking because it's such a big deal, because it's more than nourishment. Because if it was not more than nourishment, they wouldn't care if you used Uber Eats. It's something psychological about a woman slaving in the kitchen. I say that jokingly, slaving, but making, because what she's saying is, I love you this much that I'm going to put this compassion and this time and this effort into something for you to consume and to, enjoy. And so I want to offer that with my platform to where people can see the other side. And I'm not, advocating for women to be barefoot and stupid in the kitchen and just no brains and yes, blah, blah. It's not that. It's a beautiful balance between my strengths, his strengths, and looking out for each other. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but I'm so passionate about this.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I feel that there is a balance, and there's a certain type of presence that only us women can bring to a situation, to a man. And I feel like a lot in this new day and age, I was fortunate enough where I had my mamas, my aunties, women in my family, that there was certain cultural, things that was passed down, where nowadays, the new age grandma is like 35.
Right.
So there's versus, coming together, and you make your man's plate first. That was a big issue. Who do you serve first, your children or your man? You serve your husband first.
Look, why are y'all not praying over your food? That's why I said, why is anyone eating first? Just pray and then everyone eats at the same time.
You make your food. And I remember growing up, my mom would make my dad's food, then she'd make our food, and then she would eat last. Mm-hmm. That was just something that I seen growing up. I remember holidays and family functions. The women, we would all be in the kitchen cooking, while the men are either watching the game, outside drinking a beer, or doing a barbecue. But we were all cooking, catching up on gossip, catching up on life. And, this is how you do it. And it started, especially in Black families, it's that Sunday dinners, learning how to make cornbread, learning how to make Kool-Aid, that a lot of families don't do. And that I was fortunate of growing up, we had that, and so I've learned, even now, we make my brothers, when they come over and we have gatherings, and my brothers are married, me and my sister will make all the men's plates, and then we'll make the kids' plates. And I feel that is something that when you're in a relationship, like you said, there's a certain balance. Yeah. And now with sex being the forefront of everything, I believe that nowadays a lot of relationships don't last because cheating has become so accessible.
Because people can't control their urges.
Right. With social media, everything is so attainable. They don't have to go out no more. They can do it right there while they stand right next to you. And you have no idea.
But this, and I'm trying to think if I posted it yet or I'm about to post it, but there's a video that talks about if you can, a man's power is in controlling his sexual desires. And so if you, and I say this because most women are not controlled by our sexual desires. We're controlled by our emotions. So it's not like we have our issues, but men are controlled. I had a guy say it's literally like the wind can blow and a man is like weak. They said there's something about a man's sex drive that is so hard to conquer. And so the guys were saying on this podcast, if you can conquer that, you can run the world. And I challenged people in my video where I said, if you think that you're not addicted to sex, try going without it. And inevitably what people would say is, well, I can stop anytime I want, but I don't want to. And I said, what does that sound like? That literally sounds like an addict. So you can't even stop just to prove me wrong because you don't want to go without it. So, but you can stop at any time. You're telling me that that's not an addiction. This is why people can't have a problem cheating in relationships, because they are controlled by their desires. And for me, that's the first step in leveling up and changing your life and living the abundant life. When you can control your desires about what you eat, control desires about when you get up and when you go to sleep, going to bed on time, getting up on time, if you can control having sex and you can control how you spend your money, if you start with those 4 things, you will control your world. And the 5th one is controlling your mind. And so this generation is so controlled by their nether regions, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
And they
because
think it's
everything that's
freedom.
promoted
It's
is
not. It's slavery. What were you saying?
Because everything that's promoted is sex. There's no surprise anymore. Like, back in the old, when my parents were younger, you gave a boy a kiss on the cheek. It was like, oh my gosh, she gave me a kiss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's like people have OnlyFans. Like, you're just giving away something that's supposed to be your prized possession.
Yes.
For $9.99.
I really
and
want
some of it.
Go ahead.
They're giving it, and some of them are giving it away just right there on Instagram because they got they all the blessed assurances out there, and I don't have to go over there to the page and none of that, but it's all out there. I mean, hey, I'm a man. I am a man. I like what I like and all that stuff. But if I don't have to work in order to get that, why do it?
Yeah.
Why put in that work?
And I really, really, really want people to think. I don't want them to roll their eyes and go, oh, here's some, 40-year-old woman about to be 41, or she's a Bible thumper. And I don't want to be written off. I want people to use their mind and think, if the way I've been doing it up until now is not resulting in what I want, maybe I should try this. Like, try going a month without sex. And the guy even took it so far as to not even pleasing yourself by yourself. He said, literally, there's been studies that show that if you preserve, as a man, you preserve your sperm, you do not ejaculate, not to take it so specific, but they said you literally you will notice that you are sharper, you have more energy. There's all these biological aspects of it. So like I said, take all the faith part out, because that'll just segment people and go, oh, well, that she's doing it because of her faith. No, I'm saying, practically speaking, there are so many benefits to doing what I am suggesting, and I really hope people don't rule that out. All right, so I'm gonna get to the very last topic, and then I'm gonna let you guys, because you guys are 2 hours ahead of me, I'm gonna let you guys get to it. And thank you to everybody who stuck around to the end. This is awesome. So I want to talk about this is a tip for women. It's free game. I heard this on a podcast, and it was so awesome. But women, we are very intuitive. Okay. We're very intuitive. We pay attention to like an eyebrow going up, a smile, a wink, like we read into everything. And I think a lot of times we just naturally expect that men are going to be like us, which is why so many men go, my God, you expect me to read your mind. No, it's not that we expect you to read our mind. We just think that you're in tune to all the little nuances that we are. And so even if we say, no, we don't need this, the women see the wink in her eyes. Nah, don't listen to her. She winked. Like, we pick up on that. So then we internalize it when the guy doesn't read our mind and go, he doesn't love us. Because we as women tell each other, if he really loves you, he's going to know what to do. He's going to know what to say. He's going to know how to act. And I thought that when I was in my 20s. What I learned and what the podcast person was saying, I wish I remembered her name to give her credit. And I'm paraphrasing. Treat them like they're stupid, okay? Treat men like they are absolutely remedial, okay? I know it's not politically correct to say, but as though they don't know anything. And don't be disrespectful, but literally, I want this. And she gave this example. She said this lady thought she was communicating clearly, and this is why the caption is be more specific. She complained to her therapist, the counselor, I want him to watch TV with me, okay? I want her to spend time with me, and the counselor said, okay, well, what do you want? She said, well, watch TV with me. So the next week they came back to the session, and the counselor checked in how the things go or whatever. And the guy was all proud of himself. He's like, I watched TV with her, like, cool. And she over here upset. And the counselor's like, well, what's the problem? Like, you said you want him to watch TV. She was mad because what she meant by watching TV was be right next to me, snuggled up on me, being affectionate. And he sat on the other end of the couch like, cool, we're both watching this show. I'm going to get comfortable. I'm going to sit in my corner, you sit in yours, and we both got our armrests. And she said, you need to be responsible to communicate all the way. Be very specific. Do not expect the guy to fill in the blanks. He needs to know. And so I want to encourage women to not think that the man is going to read her mind. And this is the advice that they gave. They said, instead of thinking that if he reads your mind, it's an act of love, take his attentiveness and his willing to listen as the act of love. So he might not know where to take you to eat, but the fact that he says, babe, where do you want to eat? That's what you should see as love, because he could have not cared at all. It's
That's
not love
right.
because he knew, oh girl, he paid
Free-
attention and
free
knew your
game.
favorite. What's that?
It's free game, ladies. You better take notes. That's free game.
I only know this stuff because I lived and learned and effed up royally. So if anyone thinks I'm on my high horse, come again. Because I got some exes that'll tell you I did not get it right the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth time.
You gotta. There's this, when y'all get a chance, write this one down. I don't know if y'all ever seen it. It's talking about the differences in communicating. There's a YouTube little thing, and it's called "It's Not About the Nail." Y'all ever? I don't know if any of y'all have seen that, and I don't want to take away from it. I don't want to take away from it, but basically, it's a lady that's sitting there is complaining about this pain that she has in her head.
Yes,
and she's turning. She got this big nail, and he's like, "You do have." I don't want to talk about the nail. I want to blah blah blah. Well, get rid of the obvious, okay? But I agree when you say treat them like they're stupid or whatever. I don't know what to do to make you happy, because if I use what I use on the last person to make them happy, then I wouldn't be sitting right here with you. Right. That great prophetess, Betty Wright, said you need to be learning your man while you earning your man, and the flip way around is why you over here trying to understand the lady that you need to be learning some things as you're going. And the only way you're going to get that is by you having effective communication, not just talking. Because just because you talk a little bit louder doesn't mean that I'm going to understand what you're saying. I'm not deaf. I just don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, that's
effective
good.
communication works.
I love it. I'm so impressed. Y'all made it all the way through. I had a lot of topics and I had a lot I needed to get off my chest this week. So I'm impressed that you guys are still here. You're still awake. And I know it's 9:30 for all y'all. But I'm going to close out with this, you guys. And you guys can stick around if you would like to the end so that I can, sorry, I'm trying to mark this here. What am I trying to say? And I'll say goodbye to you guys at the end, but hang tight for 1 second. This is why I need my assistant so that I can do this without having to do it myself. All right. So I wanted to let you guys know that we have opportunities for advertising. If you guys want to get on, if you have a business or a product or service that you want to get in front of people, the coolest things about YouTube is that the videos are evergreen. They're not like the radio or TV. Once they're done, they're over. They play over and over again. And so hundreds of people watch the live stream each week, and then more come back and watch it. So if you guys want to advertise on this channel, just hit me up on Instagram and put on there Sunday Night Live in the DM so that I will actually open it. The other thing is that if you guys would like to support, like I said at the beginning, there are patrons who have joined via Patreon, and it's really cool. Some give as little as $5, some do 10 or 15, but whatever you have on your heart, if you would like to contribute and you like the message that I'm sharing, you can support me at patreon.com/Yancy, as you guys see on the screen here. I want to say, hold on here. I'm trying to fiddle with this thing. It's so hard to talk and read at the same time, push all these little buttons. I want to say thank you guys so much for coming through. There were quite a few people who said that they were going to come, and you guys actually came through, and I think it was perfect. It's always the right mix of people for the topics. It's amazing how that happens. But I felt like you guys brought the perfect energy for the questions that were brought up tonight. And I want to thank you for your time, because you guys don't have to do this, but you did, and it really means a lot. So thank you so much. Yes, go ahead. Oh, it's not like
so Houston had, we had to came in and we represented today.
Yes, Texas.
Come on, Texas.
I'm trying to find my little oh, here we go. Okay. See, I'm trying to be cute with all my little graphics and I keep messing up. All right, so I'm going to close out with the tip of the week. The tip of the week is to learn to love yourself so that you can more properly love others. Some of the 5 things that you could do for self-care, and this is also part of discipline, is eating and drinking right, getting enough rest. Rest is huge. If you don't believe me, YouTube it. There's so many benefits to getting enough rest. Creating healthy boundaries, even if it's your family members, even if it's your kids, coworkers, create healthy boundaries. Number 4, doing things that you enjoy. Find the little things you're passionate about. And last but not least, prayer and meditation. Have quiet time, preferably in the morning, where you can get in touch with your inner thoughts, get in touch with God, higher power, whatever you believe in. Super, super important. And excuse me. Y'all, this is so hard with these little buttons. Pray for me that I can get a little assistant help with this. And the closing thought, each week I'm going to end with a closing thought. I want you guys to know that victories are won moment by moment and day by day. We set goals for ourselves, but the victories are won moment by moment and day by day. So make sure you pay yourself a little bit each day. And by this time next year, you will have reached that goal that you want, and you'll be blown away by the progress. Something that I did was I set up an organization it's an online group called the Sunshine Club. And the purpose is to encourage people each day, because it's so easy to set our big goals, especially at the beginning of the year. And then you look up at 6 months later, you need that little drop in the bucket every day to kind of remind you. And so, I won't say who, but somebody in this group is part of the club, and it's been awesome being able to encourage people every single day. But if that's something that you guys want to get more information about, that description is in the bio, as well as the Sunshine Club. I have the blueprint for helping you guys not only meet your goals, but crush them in regards to finances, relationships, business, and then your mental and physical health. So if you want to have a group of people who are all in the same boat, like somebody said, you're the average of the 5 people you're around. Imagine being around a whole group of people who are all on that same page, trying to get to the best level of themselves. If you guys have any questions or topics you want on a future show, drop it in the comments, and I might have them on another show. You guys can find me everywhere on social media as Chasing Yancy. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I go live, which is on Sundays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do videos about mental health, emotional health, how to live the abundant life. And so you guys can check that out. But guys, until next time, tell somebody that you love them.